Fox's Kelly Wright. There's another House hearing today probing Clinton's emailing while Secretary of State, the man who set up her private servers, among those set to appear, but he has previously refused to testify. Donald Trump keeps attacking Clinton for her comment that many of his supporters are in a basket of deplorables.
She said half of our supporters are irredeemable and not American.
Trump at a rally in North Carolina. A U.S.-Russia brokered ceasefire said to be holding in Syria, though there's a dispute over something with Israel. Fox's Jessica Gallagher live on the Israeli-Syrian border.
The military is denying claims that the Syrian army struck down an Israeli warplane and a drone in Syria after an Israeli attack on a Syrian army position in the southern portion of the country. The military here saying a pair of surface-to-air missiles were fired at its aircraft but missed. Syria and Israel have been at a state of war for decades since Israel seized the Golan Heights here from Syria. This is the second day of a Washington-Moscow brokered ceasefire. It's in effect throughout the country. The 7-day truce is a second attempt to stop Syria's 5-year civil war. Rebels have yet to fully commit to the ceasefire. Dave?
Jessica, the U.S. sent a message to North Korea. Those were two B-1B bombers, nuclear capable, doing a flyover of South Korea 75 miles from the border days after North Korea's latest test, and speculation another may be coming. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Partly cloudy skies this morning, 66 degrees. Winds are out of the southwest right now at 6 miles an hour. 5:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. Gun violence continues to skyrocket in the city of Chicago. As of yesterday, 3,000 people have been shot so far this year. Special prosecutor looking into the Laquan McDonald police shooting wants a grand jury to hear evidence about how police handled that case. Prosecutor Patricia Holmes says a grand jury is the fairest way to determine if charges are warranted. 2 firefighters are hospitalized this morning, and a strip mall is gone for good after a massive fire. Witnesses say it began at a Family Dollar on the west side in the Garfield Park neighborhood around 7 last night. The strip mall had been there for over 30 years and had many other businesses. Starting today, Chicago Uber riders can book a ride up to a month in advance. The driving service debuting its scheduling feature today. It's already up and running in Washington, D.C. A man who participated in a bribery scheme that steered $100 million in red light camera contracts to an Arizona company has received a 6-month prison sentence. U.S. District Judge Virginia Kendall, in sentencing Martin O'Malley, said the case against the man at the center of the bribery probe could not have been prosecuted without O'Malley's testimony. A group of clergy and union members rallied outside the Illinois State Capitol, protesting what they say is Governor Bruce Rauner's efforts to cut social service costs. Attorneys for a man expected in court to begin a murder trial case today will argue that he was insane in 2014 when an Island Lake woman was stabbed to death. 52-year-old Howard Dibburn is accused in the death of 48-year-old Karen Scavelli in her home and then stealing her car. And in a follow-up to a story we told you about yesterday, Chicago street gang members targeting luxury vehicles in the suburbs for theft and then use in other crimes. Chicago police now tell us at least 70 vehicles, BMWs, Range Rovers, and others were stolen by this loosely organized theft ring this year. Most vehicles have been recovered, according to police. And the police also say thieves entered those cars when they were unlocked, and then they used keys or fobs they found inside those vehicles in cup holders or consoles and simply drove away. Police have arrested 15 suspects, most of them juvenile gang members. The news, a service of Amtrak. Great memories are made on trains not in traffic. Experience travel the way it should be. Go from Chicago to Denver for $94 with Amtrak Saver Fares. Book now at Amtrak.com/saverfares and see where the train can take you. Restrictions apply. 5:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
My America is really easy. I can sum up my America in about 9.5 seconds.
The Joe Walsh Show.
It's my life, it's my money, it's my family, it's my business. I'll be responsible for everything. Government, get the hell out of my life. 9.5 freaking seconds.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
That might have been 8.5 seconds.
I have actually been on Balance of Nature for a year now. I have MS, and I recently had an MRI. This is the first year that I've had a stable MRI, so I'm thrilled. When I have an MRI with MS, usually there are glowing spots that come through, which is damage on the nerves in my brain and my spinal cord, and when they're glowing, it means they're active. And then my last MRI, they pulled it up, and I honestly couldn't believe that it was my MRI. There was nothing glowing. And in fact, the dark spots were shrinking. They were healing. And the doctor actually said to me, I think we're in remission. I was so happy. I had no idea that that could be my reality.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
It's 5:06. Let's check our roads in our AM 560 traffic center this morning. Here's Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. Southbound I-55, just north of 83. There's a pickup truck. It's on fire, fully engulfed. No word on lane blockage yet, but prepare to slow down approaching that area. Westbound 8094, traffic is stop and go from Klein Avenue to Kennedy Avenue. Some additional road work closing the two left lanes. Overnight work has cleared on 390. Everything is open there again. Also on 53 at Lake Cook, there are ramp closures. Elsewhere at the moment, the expressways and tollways look good. Traffic service at the Cook County Clerk's Office. The Cook County Clerk's Office is recruiting suburban poll workers to serve during the general election. Support the democratic process while being paid $175 or $325, depending on the position. Apply at cookcountyclerk.com/judges. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Clouds and sun today with an afternoon shower. Thunderstorm in spots, high 82. Then a shower, a thunderstorm around tonight, low 63. A morning shower in the area. Otherwise, tomorrow not as warm as clouds break for some sun, high of 72. And a moonlit night, low 57. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
67 at O'Hare, 68 along the lakefront, 60 this morning in Aurora. And your next news update is at 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Fox River Periodontics, Chicagoland specialist with dental implants. To get your smile back, visit implantsforme.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Steelers won last night.
I know.
That's my team. I don't have a college team because I went to Northwestern, but I do have a pro team in the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, your guy Antonio Brown did pretty well, huh?
Yes.
Did you like his dance in the end zone when he? What kind of move is that? Can you replicate?
I like everything Antonio Brown does.
Can you do that move?
I'm not acknowledging you because you previously referred to Antonio Brown as some receiver Brown.
No, I was just jealous
in the
that
NFL.
I didn't get first pick in my fantasy football draft because I would have picked him. And I like to poke the little bear that I don't know anything about football. Right. Oh, what's first and goal?
Speaking of poking the bear.
Yeah.
Did
you watch the San Fran game? Or is this a different, are we heading in a different direction?
Well, sure. Yeah. I mean, that backup quarterback for the 49ers continued. And then he got some support from the Rams. There's a couple of Rams players that I saw do the Black Power salute.
Yeah. They didn't take a knee, but they just did this the whole time.
Yeah.
Or is it this? What harm is it?
I thought it was a cheap imitation of Tommy Smith and John Carlos, but that's me. I like the originals.
But it was weird because they featured Colin Kaepernick before the game started. They lavaliered him up and had him go out. And so many fans were taking pictures with him. He was signing their jersey. It's just such a strange phenomenon that is going on in the United States right now. Why celebrate him for disrespecting the flag?
I thought when Nancy Pelosi did the Black Power salute on the sidelines, that was a little much. I don't think that was necessary.
It's so strange. I mean, we all know that his jersey sales are at the top of the list, but for them to be taking selfies with him and people are running down during the pregame warm-ups to take a picture with him and just chat with the guy, give him a high five.
I saw somebody tweet, this was a good tweet on the topic, said people cheering in San Fran for Colin Kaepernick. Just wait till the 49ers play a game in America and see what the reaction is. It's pretty good. I like that.
That's awesome.
Well, going back to speaking of poking the bear,
yes.
Trump got poked by Hillary Clinton, that lovable little Teddy Ruxpin that she is, with her deplorables comment over the weekend. And he's got an ad that they quickly fashioned and is up in swing states. And here's how it goes.
Speaking to wealthy donors, Hillary Clinton called tens of millions of Americans deplorable.
You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
People like you, and you. Deplorable. You know what's deplorable? Hillary Clinton viciously demonizing hardworking people like you.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it certainly uses her words against her, which is the important point. It's a little high dudgeon for me, but it's but the important point is to continue to prosecute this case. There are people who think, oh, this comment is going to just dissipate into the ether a week from now. I don't think so, and you know why? Because it plays right into Trump's campaign theme. Well before the deplorables comment, and that's, this is the outside guy against the ruling class Pauls, and that was the sum and substance of his speech before the National Guard Association yesterday, where he responded to Hillary's comment and broke it down in some detail.
She and her wealthy donors all had a good laugh. You heard them. They were all laughing. Good, solid laugh.
Yeah. All had a good laugh. It reminded me of the setup for Nigel Farage before the EU after the Brexit vote. 17 years ago, I came here and told you we're going to get out, and you all laughed at me. Well, you're not laughing now. And if Trump is elected president of the United States, I could imagine on election night, there'll be time for civility, but on election night, remember the comment. Remember Hillary Clinton at her fundraiser, and she called all of you who voted for me deplorables, or half of you, but she meant the other half.
Well,
and the other half
her apology was that only half of them are.
And the other half are sad sacks who are being duped by me. But remember that deplorables comment, and they all laughed, all the elitists and all the celebs and all the limousine liberals. They all laughed. Well, they're not laughing now, are they? And he went on from there to address specifically how Hillary Clinton spoke when she offered that comment over the weekend at that fundraiser.
Hillary Clinton spoke with hatred and derision for the people who make this country run. She spoke with contempt for the people who thanklessly follow the rules, pay their taxes, and scratch out a living for their family, a hard-earned living, too. While Hillary Clinton lives a sequestered life behind gates and walls and guards, she mocks and demeans hardworking Americans who only want their own families to enjoy a fraction of the security enjoyed by our politicians.
See, to me, the ruling class Hillary, at least at this juncture in the campaign, is more devastating than the crooked Hillary.
Really?
Because, on dishonest Hillary, you're selling past the close. 70% of people think she's dishonest, right? They don't trust her. And this latest episode with her medical condition is not going to aid that any. But getting back to the ruling class Hillary and what she represents, which is what the revolt is really against, and Trump is a vessel for that revolt, I think gets him right back onto kind of the main line where he needs to be in the last 57 days.
What he did yesterday in North Carolina, though, I absolutely love it. We'll have it for you later, but he brought up, quote unquote, deplorables. He brought up a black couple, elderly black couple, and he spoke. He said, my wife and I are not deplorable people. We are not racist. We don't even fit on that list that you put out. And then he brought up a pastor, and then he brought up a single mom. And I mean, it was really.
Well, they're the other half.
Yeah, no, they're
the dupes.
No, they came up and it looked like we're team deplorables, but it was really effective. And Donald Trump, I thought, you know what, God bless him. He was that was a smart somebody. If it wasn't him, somebody in his campaign thought that would be a good move.
Well, I think
it was.
I think the "I'm a deplorable" T-shirt is the leading. Is selling more jerseys than selling more T-shirts than Colin Kaepernick is selling jerseys at this juncture. So that's going to be a meme and. A badge of honor for Trump supporters, the duration. There's no question. And then Trump, back to his speech before the National Guard Association, where he was received very well. Hillary Clinton was received politely. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump was received enthusiastically. And then he talked about Hillary Clinton being above the law, which again fits into the ruling class argument.
Hillary Clinton believes she's above the law, that she is above accountability, and that she is above each and every one of you.
Yeah, see, there's one set of rules for you, and there's another set of rules for Hillary and her friends and the Beltway elites and so forth. I mean, this is right where Trump needs to be, rinse and repeat. By the way, I should note, Trump was scripted again.
Yeah. Not when he had the deplorables up.
Not when he what?
Well, had the deplorables up, team deplorables.
Well, not North Carolina, but I mean for the speech before the National Guard Association, it was solid, it was tight, and it was scripted, and that's also the best Donald Trump that is available for presentation to the American public. So his campaign is wise to continue presenting that Donald Trump for major speeches week after week.
And I'm glad that nobody in his campaign, they're adhering to the warning that they cannot talk or tweet or Facebook anything about Hillary's condition. And Donald Trump was wonderful yesterday, saying that he hopes that she gets better and gets back on the campaign trail, and that he's focusing on her, ripping on and just trying to destroy his constituents.
Well, that's right. He should focus on the deplorables comment and what that really indicates about what Hillary truly believes. And, let the DNC focus on replacing Hillary Clinton, which seems to be a conversation afoot.
Yeah, Cokie Roberts was saying, made that point yesterday that they're secretly, trying to figure out who's going to replace her.
Well,
I don't think she needs to replace her because she has a body double already.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Well, Scott Baio, I'm starting to get onto that. Scott
Baio's his body double?
No, Scott Baio knows this woman.
Rush Limbaugh's her body double? That could be.
He knows those two are both lock and step with thinking that was a body double yesterday. One that came out of the New York City apartment. And then I'm on Camp Rush Limbaugh, where I think that wasn't her who collapsed, that was an actress. Because nobody in her press corps that follows her knew that she even left. Did you see the back of her hair? That doesn't look like Hillary Clinton.
Oh, my goodness. Wait, you mean there are more than one Hillary Clinton running around?
It's a possibility.
Things are much worse than I thought.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Today, more humid with some clouds and a thunderstorm possibly in spots this afternoon. A high of 81 degrees tonight. A shower or thunderstorm around. And then for tomorrow, we're going to have showers in the area in the morning. Otherwise, clouds breaking for some sun. Less humid, a high of 72. Is that overnight road work been picked up? Let's get the answer from Jim Telemonte.
Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dan. Most of it is gone, but not all. Inbound Bishop Ford Freeway. It's stop and go from Sibley to the Steel Bridge. The left lane was supposed to be open by now, but it's still closed. Got about a 5-minute delay on the inbound Bishop Ford. 8094 westbound. Slow going, Klein Avenue to Kennedy Avenue. There's some extra road work there, closing 2 left lanes. Southbound I-55, just north of 83, there's a pickup truck on fire. The left lane is closed. Not a big delay yet, but prepare to slow down approaching the area. Well south of Chicago, northbound I-65 is closed in the Remington area between 231 and 114. This is actually just south of Rensselaer. Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Did you know that if you have mutual funds in your IRA, 401k, or investment accounts, that according to Forbes magazine, you could be paying as much as 3.17% in hidden fees every single year? 3.17%. May not sound like much, but over 10 years, it's costing you 32%, whether your fund is up or down. Hi, it's Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group in Chicago and host of the Alpha Wealth Hour on AM 560. This is just one of the reasons I hate mutual funds, and you should too. You may not know this, but you have far more investment options today without the excessive fees. Learn what they are in my free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds. What you learn may shock you. To get your free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds, call 630-519-4742. There's no obligation. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
Hey, Sean Hannity here to talk about the importance of our Second Amendment rights and the importance of protecting your family. Now, in order to do that, well, you need the proper equipment and training from DS Arms. Now, as an actual manufacturer of AR-15 and FN-FAL type rifles, they also stock major brands of firearms, including handguns and every accessory imaginable for self-defense, target shooting, and hunting. Now, ladies, you can get basic and advanced training in a family-friendly environment with your girlfriends, loved ones, or even mom. And you can get certified for your concealed carry license. Everything is provided, including a firearm, for only $225, which is a small price to pay for your safety and the safety of your family and your loved ones. Now, for custom rifles made in America by a real manufacturer or concealed carry firearms training classes with top firearms and trainers will make DS Arms your team. DS Arms, much more than a gun store. Now, they're simple to reach in Lake Barrington, just off of Route 14 and Pepper Road. Call now, 847-277-7260. Or check them out online at dsarms.com.
A couple years ago, I had a severe accident which disabled my right hand and caused chronic pain. I did not want to deal with the side effects of pain meds. There is absolutely no reason to suffer. There are ways to find a solution and get off the drugs. I definitely believe Dr. Candido found that for me, and immediately, he sat down with me, really wanted to find the source of the pain and really fix me. And, I've seen many doctors in my lifetime, obviously with this accident, but I have to say Dr. Kenneth Candido, he cares about me. It's changed my life. I absolutely would recommend Dr. Kenneth Candido. There is a light at the end of the tunnel.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. If you or someone you love or someone you know has chronic pain, contact us. Treating chronic pain issues is what we do. We can make it better. Get an appointment and let's talk. MyPainChicago.com, MyPainChicago.com. All the info is available at MyPainChicago.com. Let's make you pain-free.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, I don't know if you saw this, Amy. I'm more of the pageant type than you are, but the Miss America contest on Sunday night.
Oh, yeah, Miss Arkansas. Pretty easy on the eyes.
Savvy Shields is her name. And
of course it is.
What?
That's not a naughty. Savvy Shields?
Yeah.
I mean, is that her real name, though?
That's their name. That's the
Wow.
name she was going by.
Okay.
I haven't done an Ancestry.com on her, but
Well, you might
that's the
want to
name
get
she
on
was
that.
going by.
Why don't you go introduce yourself to her?
She was asked a question during the question round.
Mhm. Oh, it's my favorite.
I know that's your favorite round.
Is this when I can play the file audio of Miss South Carolina?
Exactly. I know that's what.
Slavi, Children Africa, Education World.
Well, right, kind of a word cloud answer, which is very modern.
Mhm. Lamp, carpet.
Yeah. Miss Arkansas was asked a question about Hillary Clinton.
Oh, no.
And
no.
this is the answer that
The former First Lady of Arkansas?
This is the answer that gave her the crown.
Hillary Rodham Clinton, what do you think? Sorry, it's so funny. If you're trying to be leader of the free world, everything you say and do matters, and all of your actions are held to a higher standard. And unfortunately, the media does love to sensationalize everything, and it's hard to tell what is truth and what is truly scandal. I think going back of what my previous contestant said, both of these contestants have done a great job, or both these candidates have done a great job in competing, but they also need to watch what they're doing. And 20 seconds. Good job. Thank you. We're done.
Yeah.
It's always so uncomfortable, that part of the pageant.
But
They ask them questions.
It's a fantastic answer. And she accidentally said contestants, referring to the two candidates.
Right.
But that's a Freudian slip because they really are like contestants.
It is. I mean, it's not a beauty pageant this time around.
No.
Or who's more healthier this time around. It's a contest. Yeah.
Well, they also need to be careful about what they're doing. Hillary Clinton needs to be very careful about what she's doing in terms of her communication and her campaign's communication with the outside world. criticized yesterday roundly for being so secretive about her health over the weekend and essentially legitimizing a lot of what these same people criticizing Hillary were doing in advance of Hillary prior to this weekend, which is to say anybody raising her health as an issue is a crackpot, is part of the vast right-wing conspiracy, is out of bounds. And that argument was taken away from David Axelrod and Stephanie Cutter and all of these other reptiles of the left.
Yeah, did you see
because of what happened, and now we know how Hillary and the campaign responded. And this is most clearly demonstrated by Robbie Mook.
Well, by the way, he had pneumonia too. And he powered through, because that's the thing. We're going to power through.
Pneumonia is going through the campaign. It's been reported. So
3 people have it, or have had it, including Mook.
Hillary's infecting the campaign in a different way than she's infected our politics. But
gotta stop making out with her staff members, really.
Uma, Hillary, go to separate corners. So Mook was on with MSNBC's Kate Snow.
I saw him. He was wearing a lumberjack shirt.
Yeah.
Step up your game a little, buddy.
Kate Snow, this is on MSNBC. This is a friendly audience. And Kate Snow is trying to get the timeline from Mook. And mostly the reason we're really playing what Robbie Mook had to say in this interview is so I can keep saying, Mook! The Dickensian-named campaign manager for the Clintons. Listen to this.
Would you have advised her to take a couple days down and maybe not plan this trip to California today?
Well, I certainly, let's just say I'm happy that she's getting some much needed downtime now, but she's looking forward to getting back out on the trail very soon.
Does anyone have the ability, and I say this with all due respect to Mrs. Clinton, Secretary Clinton, does anyone have the ability to say no to her? Do you know what I mean? Is there someone who can say, wait a minute, maybe not a great idea to go to the 9/11 commemoration, even though you want to go when you have pneumonia?
Well, look, I think we all should have taken some of this advice. A lot of us got sick over the last few weeks. I'm sure you've heard. I probably came in a few more days than I should have over the last few weeks. I'm still actually recovering from the cough that I got through that. So I think this is the end of a long series of people in this entire campaign who needed a little bit more rest.
Yeah. And then Mook was asked about if he was apprised of the diagnosis of pneumonia on Friday, and he wouldn't answer the question.
Donald Trump has not released a single piece of serious information.
All right, these clips are wrong, but that's what happened with Mook. He went back and forth with Kate Snow on the timeline, and she essentially pushing back and suggesting, well, we waited 90 minutes and we were left in the dark while you assembled your body double. She didn't say that.
Thank you.
And so that's where they did the mea culpa. We could have handled the press better, but we were tending to the needs of our candidate. And then Mook was asked again about what he knew on Friday, and he said, I'm not going to go into what I knew and when I knew it, indicating, of course, that he was apprised of it, so that kind of the inner circle of Clinton's campaign knew about it, and they chose not to disclose. And there is no more, there's no stronger proponent in the D.C. press corps for Hillary Clinton than Andrea Mitchell, right?
Right, that's her best friend.
And Andrea Mitchell even said duty to disclose was present on Friday.
But the fact that they did not say anything on Friday when they had an affirmative obligation to the public through us, after telling us that the cough in Cleveland on Labor Day was just seasonal allergies, which is what she thought, but after she had an exam on Friday morning, they had an affirmative obligation to tell us about the diagnosis of pneumonia.
Boy, I'll tell you, when you've lost Andrea Mitchell and you're Hillary Clinton, you're in deep trouble.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob.
His company put their trust in Air Comfort to keep their business running cool all summer. Bob knows the value of proper chiller maintenance that includes end-of-season service, so he'll be ready for next summer.
I'm ready.
Dave, on the other hand, thought he could put off servicing his chiller at the end of last season and had 3 complete shutdowns this summer. Needless to say, his staff and customers were not happy. Moral of the story? Preventative maintenance will save you time, money, and trouble. As the hot weather ends, you need maintenance on your chiller before the start of next season. Air Comfort has one of the largest commercial and industrial service groups in the Chicago area, with a dedicated factory-trained chiller department that takes a scientific approach to analyzing your system and determining any needed maintenance. They know how to work on large equipment, perform an analysis of your chiller, and get you ready for next season. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935. On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Hillary Clinton responds to her medical episode. Did she lose consciousness? She explains it all to Anderson Cooper.
And the Democrats' U.S. Senate candidate in Ohio says Tim Kaine is ready to be president.
Oh, please. But first, let's go into the newsroom. That's a scary thought. Here's Mike Scott.
66 degrees. Hillary Clinton opening up, she says, about her health, being diagnosed with what many are calling pneumonia.
I felt fine, but I'm now taking my doctor's advice, which was given to me on Friday that I ignored, to just take some time to get over pneumonia completely.
In an interview with CNN, Clinton appeared to stagger and then faint in footage showing her early exit from a 9/11 commemoration ceremony on Sunday. Donald Trump calling out Clinton for calling his supporters a basket of deplorables at a North Carolina fundraiser.
Well, my opponent slanders you as deplorable and irredeemable. I call you hardworking American patriots who love your country.
Speaking in North Carolina, the GOP presidential nominee said voters should get leadership that honors and defends them. 3 women alleged to be part of a female commando unit planning attacks in France now face preliminary charges. A Paris judge has charged that trio with criminal terrorist association linked to the discovery of an abandoned car full of gas cylinders and another pending attack. The pushback has again intensified against North Carolina over a state law that some say discriminates against the LGBT community. The basketball-crazed state has lost its next chance to host NCAA men's basketball tournament games. In all, the NCAA announced it's pulling 7 championship events from North Carolina this year across all 3 divisions. A special prosecutor looking into the Laquan McDonald police shooting now wants a grand jury to hear evidence about how police handled that case. And 2 firefighters are in the hospital, and a Chicago strip mall is gone today after a massive blaze, which began in the Garfield Park neighborhood around 7 p.m. last night. Kyle Hendricks took a no-hitter into the 9th as the Cubs cut down the Cardinals 4-1. White Sox smack out 16 hits in a rout of the Indians 11-4. The news service of Amtrak: great memories are made on trains and not in traffic. Experience travel the way it should be. Go from Chicago to Denver for $94 with Amtrak Saver Fares. Book now at amtrak.com/saverfares and see where the train can take you. Restrictions apply. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The clock is ticking. The most important political event of the year comes to Chicago on October 29th. It's Freedom Summit 2016, featuring Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, Michelle Malkin, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. And just added, Dr. Sebastian Gorka, author of Defeating Jihad. Tickets start at just $39 and are available at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Air Comfort, the Ayn Rand Institute, and by healthinsurancementors.com.
Remodel your kitchen with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet and get one free with free financing and design services. Call 773-783-8300.
Attention Second Amendment patriots. Just Target Guns of Libertyville in Lake County just returned from the largest gun show in America with new products. They're fully stocked for home defense and all shooting sports. Just Target Guns, located in Libertyville on Peterson Road, is the place to go for rifles, pistols, antique firearms, ammunition, and all levels of shotguns. Connie Shanahan and the knowledgeable staff at Just Target Guns will answer all your questions, no matter your level of experience, and help discover what you need for sport shooting, trap, skeet, target practice, or self-defense. Whether you're a novice shooter or a highly trained professional, Just Target Guns has got your brass covered. Get your FOID card, sign up for firearms training, and conceal and carry classes. Just Target Guns also has a skilled gunsmith on staff for repairs, and firearm appraisals are done in-house. Exercise your Second Amendment rights and set your sight on JustTargetGuns.com. That's JustTargetGuns.com.
536. Let's check the roads at our AM 560 traffic center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. 8094 westbound. It's stop and go from Burr to Calumet Avenue with some extra road work in the two left lanes. Things slow traffic on the inbound Eisenhower early. It's heavy Manheim to Harlem. 37 minutes. I make it 33 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound fine at 29. The Edens and the Kennedy are still good. Inbound Stevenson still Harlem to Kedzie. 38 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound the left shoulder is blocked before 83 after an earlier vehicle fire. Ryan, 18 minutes, 95th to downtown, I-57. Already 34 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Bishop 424. Traffic is a service over the Milwaukee Airport. At the Milwaukee Airport, low fares meet low stress. And all the major airlines are matched with major convenience, like speedy curb-to-gate service, non-stops nationwide, and affordable on-site parking. Start your next trip the easy way at flymke.com. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. More humid today, clouds and sun mixed. There is a chance of an afternoon thunderstorm, high 81. Currently 66. Next news coming up at 6, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Illinois Rising, hosted by Dan Proft and the Illinois Policy Institute. Sunday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer.
Let not your heart be troubled. Listen to me, Sean Hannity. I'll have the latest news and what it all means for you. It's coming up at 2 right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So, the cough is worse than the cover-up. It's not Hillary's underlying condition, whatever it is, if it's just pneumonia or if it's something more severe than that.
Oh.
It's the cover-up. The cough is worse than the cover-up here. And we got an email from a registered nurse yesterday. I'm still fascinated by that metal device or that piece of metal that fell from her pant leg, which people aren't asking her about or campaign staff about. And the email we got from a registered nurse suggested that perhaps it was one of these seizure alert devices for someone who has epilepsy. So I know there's some speculation about Parkinson's because of like the blue sunglasses she was wearing and how blue light affects the brain differently. And so it's an assist, I guess, is the argument that's been advanced by some in medicine. But perhaps, there's an underlying condition for which she needs some kind of alert device that when a seizure is coming on, and of course you saw what happened with her collapse in front of the SUV there. That's, again, pure speculation, not a medical professional, but I thought it was an interesting thought that this nurse, who is a medical professional, had. We're going to talk to a medical professional, Dr. David Frim from the University of Chicago, at the top of the 6 o'clock hour, and ask him these questions and others that people have on their mind.
And asking questions was one Anderson Cooper last night, because he asked her, Dan, did you ever lose consciousness? I mean, what happened? And well, she started off the conversation saying, everything's fine here. I was just trying to power through.
Oh, thank you, Anderson. I'm feeling so much better, and obviously I should have gotten some rest sooner. I probably would have been better off if I'd just pulled down my schedule on Friday.
Oh,
but
thought she said schedule.
Like a lot of people, I just thought I could keep going forward and power through it, and obviously that didn't work out so well.
And that's what happens a lot of times when people get pneumonia. Walking pneumonia. She had bacterial pneumonia. That's why she was prescribed antibiotics. Other people have viral pneumonia. So she shouldn't really be around people. She has bacterial, but she didn't care because she can't stop. They say she has a tendency to keep going without stopping. But Anderson, because her husband, Bill.
Oh, Anderson.
Was
that Hillary, or was that Hillary's body double that was being interviewed by Anderson Cooper?
No, it was Hillary Clinton herself, we believe. She was on the phone. She was supposed to be resting, but no, she picked up the phone, pulled to Donald Trump, and talked about Anderson Cooper, with Anderson Cooper, about how many times she's been dehydrated, because her husband, Bill, was on with Charlie Rose and said that this happens a lot.
Well, if it is, it's a mystery to me and all of her doctors. Rarely, but on more than one occasion over the last many, many years, the same sort of things happened to her when she just got severely dehydrated. And she's worked, as Secretary of State and as a senator, and in the years since.
But more importantly, she's on a grueling campaign.
Yeah.
And you know what that's like, and she's older than you were when you ran.
And she had two and a half hard days before the day when she got dizzy. Today she made a decision, which I think was correct, to cancel her campaign day.
And instead, Bill Clinton is going to head to California to appear on Ellen's show and to go to the fundraiser in Northern California. But yeah,
is she going to be able to do as many push-ups as Michelle Obama?
I don't. Do you think he's going to show off his arms? But Hillary Clinton, she said that, no, this has happened just a few times. My husband was kind of wrong.
Oh, I think really only twice that I can recall. It is something that has occurred a few times over the course of my life.
And then she said she sought a doctor's help.
I'm sorry. Did she just short circuit, quote unquote, to use her word? Because she said it's only happened twice, and then she said it a few times.
Right.
A few is not the same as twice.
No.
I mean, I hate to be idiosyncratic about word usage, but we are talking about Hillary Clinton and her husband's infamous parsing of words.
Mm-hmm. Well, she said she doesn't. When he asked her, he said, "Why aren't you being transparent?" And this is the best response ever. She treats Anderson Cooper like he's a little boy.
Oh, my goodness, Anderson.
Oh, Anderson, come on now.
Compare everything you know about me
Anderson.
with my opponent. I think it's time he met the same level of disclosure that I have for years.
Yeah.
You've got a medical report on me that meets the same standard as Mitt Romney and Barack Obama. Donald Trump's doctor said he'd be the healthiest president in history. That's just not even serious. And I've released nearly 40 years of tax returns. He hasn't released one.
Yeah, so she turned it into, full disclosure.
It's such a transparent, painful pivot to her opponent. And here's the problem that she has. The vast right-wing conspiracy does not include one David Axelrod, who tweeted, "What's the cure for an unhealthy penchant for privacy that repeatedly creates unnecessary problems?" That's a nice way of saying not being transparent.
Mm-hmm.
So Hillary Clinton needs to talk about Donald Trump and his tax returns because she can't defend herself on the merits, which is the leading indicator of a guilty party.
And quickly, before you get to the political stuff,
well, there are other allies, too, that are criticizing her for not being above board about all of this.
Well, she said, Anderson Cooper mentioned the David Axelrod tweet. She didn't really respond just by saying, "Oh, I have been transparent because I've released my tax returns for the past 40 years."
Yes.
So she pivoted all that. But she said once she got into the van, that the air conditioning helped her and her staff made her drink some water, and then she went to Chelsea's house. Are you ready for this? Because grandkids are the best medicine, don't you know?
I mean,
I mean, it was
spare
so
me.
sappy.
Spare
So
me.
sappy.
She's just so repugnant. She's just a repugnant and unrepentant liar. That's what she is. And that's what she will continue to be. And it's not even a close call. And everybody knows it. And oh, by the way, boy, I'll tell you what, Ted Strickland, he's a former Democrat governor of Ohio and the current Democrat candidate for U.S. Senate against Rob Portman there, and he's going to lose. Listen to what he had to say when Tim Kaine came to town for a fundraiser for him.
Just let me say that I've known Senator Kaine for quite some time. He is a wonderfully prepared person to be the vice president and to be the president if that ever became necessary.
And to be the president if that ever became necessary. You know, that's a pro forma line except in this context. And boy, I'm just so sick of the left fear-mongering and focusing on Hillary's health. You know, these rank-and-file Democrat politicians that are just obsessed about Hillary's health. There's nothing to see here, Ted Strickland. Don't you know? I mean, that was the rap of the Democrats a week ago. Not so much the rap now, is it? And then these stories afoot that former DNC chairmen are having conversations about contingency plans and replacement options.
Yep.
These are not good stories for Hillary Clinton, even if nothing comes of it, and I suspect nothing will. It's just a story that says she's potentially unfit to serve on so many levels you lose count.
Yeah. One thing Anderson Cooper did not ask Hillary while he had her on the line, he didn't ask her about the deplorables, if she wants to walk that back or apologize, because Donald Trump was calling for her to apologize again yesterday. And he had her there, and he never even asked, because I watched the entire 9-minute interview. Lost opportunities.
The question he should have asked is the question that was tweeted by Mike Pence VP, which is not the official Mike Pence VP site, but it's a funny one.
A body double?
Of sorts. By the way, body double. Her body double, certainly not Melanie Griffith, if you ever saw the body double the movie. But or at least not a young Melanie Griffith. The tweet was, well, who's going to be president when it's over 78 degrees?
Oh.
Well,
hey, it's hot in that pantsuit. If you're with a lot of people and it's warm out, forget about it.
Well, sure. It's made of asbestos,
No,
right?
the polyester cotton blend, it's overheating. That's why people don't wear pantsuits in the summertime.
Mike in Bolingbrook, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, Dan and Amy, it's just it fuels the fire. All the lies. You have nowhere else to go but conspiracy theorists, or, for lack of a better word, an excuse for the lies that they create. I don't think the media touched on the metal thing in her leg that fell out as much as I saw something about an earpiece during the debate on the aircraft carrier the other day. That was never touched on either. There's just so many lies out there that you don't have any choice than to be suspicious and have a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Mike.
She did say, too, she's releasing her full medical report later this week.
No,
the same
she's
day
she's releasing more medical records this week, and so is Trump. But neither one said full and complete. Neither one is holding themselves to the McCain standard, which they should. Here's my entire medical history. It's in a room. Any reporter wants to see it. It's not going to leave the room, but any reporter wants to see it can come there, ask questions, so forth. That's what they should do.
Well, they sure did create an atmosphere for a cover-up, don't you think? No one
well, they created an atmosphere she created an atmosphere for suspicion, at least about this. And Donald Trump has created an atmosphere for suspicion about his tax returns.
Mm-hmm.
This is what happens when you're not transparent, even though you know going in what the standards are and the kind of proctological exam that a company is running for president. I mean, unless you're Barack Obama. Mike on the north side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm afraid that our little candidate is having a problem. I'm afraid that grumpy old menopause is deteriorating into grandma rigor mortis. If she had this walking pneumonia that she says, why would she be near her grandkids? I don't think she was given antibiotics for that. I think maybe she picked up a little something from Bill. I heard Bill is back on Snapchat, so maybe that's the reason.
Thanks for the call, Mike. She's got an STD from Bill.
Yeah, that's
You know why?
that's the new theory. Why don't you go tweet that out?
That would require some kind of physical contact between the two, and we
Yeah.
know that's not happening. Here's a fun little piece written by David Harsanyi in The Federalist, a helpful step-by-step guide to defending every Clinton scandal. And so he gives you an example. Let's do the one about her illness. Republicans, Hillary looks sick. Democrats, conspiracy theorists, Republican. You know, she's coughing all the time. Democrat, conspiracy theorist, Republican. Hillary just passed out. Democrat, she has allergies and some heat exhaustion. It's one of the hottest days ever. Republican, it was 77 and breezing. Democrat, are you suggesting that women have a different, weaker physiology than men? Republican,
that's great.
No, I'm suggesting maybe she's sicker than we think. Democrat, misogynist. Oh, the campaign says she has a little walking pneumonia. Now we know. Republican, why not say that in the first place? She's a warrior, am I right? Republican, so the 7-year-old lady ill with a contagious sickness is hugging little girls and attending fundraisers. Democrat, she's 69 and 7 months, you liar. She's a hero to elderly women. Republican, is she contagious? Of course not. Republican, if it's no big deal, why is she canceling campaign events? Democrat, actually, this dangerous contagious sickness has infected a bunch of senior staff who may now die. That's how bad it is. Republican, seems serious. If Hillary lied about this, is it possible she's lying again? Democrat, conspiracy theorists. That is a very good summation of how these scandals play out in terms of asking legitimate questions and pointing out the evidence, and then the response you get from Hillary Clinton and her handmaidens at the D.C. press corps.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Forecast for today. It's going to be humid. We can't rule out a thunderstorm, though. In spots this afternoon, a high of 81 degrees. Tonight, a shower or thunderstorm. And for tomorrow, we're going to have a shower in the area in the morning. Otherwise, clouds breaking for some sun. Cooler, a high of 72. Have the travel times cooled down? Here's Jim Telemonte.
We're seeing some heavy delays, Amy and Dan. Good morning. 8094 westbound. It's all bottled up between Burr and Calumet Avenue. There's some extra road work there in the two left lanes. Well south of Chicago, an overnight crash had northbound I-65 closed south of Rensselaer. That's all reopened now. Slow going on I-57 with that left lane closure at 95th. 35 minutes already. I-80 to merge. Bishop Ford clocking in at 20. And the Ryan is 19 minutes 95th to downtown. The Edens and the Kennedy are fine. Inbound Ike. Delays start at Wolf. It's 35 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Stevenson 42 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. And outbound 46. Really bottled up there. Pulaski to Harlem where there's a crash in the left lane. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Hi, I'm Mary Beth. I had a failed root canal and it was causing me pain. Dr. Neruzzi took care of my tooth and I got my implant, and then I had another after that fail and he did that one as well. And the experience was, they were amazing. It was not painful at all like I thought it was going to be, and I was very, very, very nervous about the whole thing. Nobody enjoys getting, implants or dental work, and I procrastinated, but I had to have it done. And he took me in immediately and took care of it. And he made it really affordable. They're very accommodating to people that cannot afford to have it done. I would recommend Dr. Neruzzi to anybody, and I have given him referrals. My own sister had hers done by him.
This is Dr. Neruzzi. I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants. Go to implantsforme.com.
For missing teeth, dental implants are wonderful. The advantages are fantastic. Just remember, implantsforme.com. Implantsforme.com.
Hello, everyone, and here we go again with Karen Lewis and the Chicago Teachers Union demanding more money from the Chicagoland taxpayers. Well, I say enough is enough. The teachers get paid from the property taxes that homeowners pay every year. If the Teachers Union gets more money, that means your property taxes are going to go higher. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent representative for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other health insurance carriers. For months now, I have been telling you about purchasing health savings account PPO plans that will cost you approximately 40% less in monthly premiums than you're currently paying now. Well, the same thing applies to the Teachers Union. I can show the union that they can purchase a more comprehensive health insurance plan that is in full compliance with the Affordable Care Act and will cost the taxpayers up to 40% less in monthly health insurance premiums. For more information, you can call me at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
Hi, I'm Tom Sadeka, President and CEO of Precision Payroll of America. We're the 33-year-old company whose first employee and first client are still working together. We have so many wonderful clients, but with me today is someone very special.
Hi, I'm Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA. We are a nonprofit student organization battling the bias and indoctrination in America's high schools and colleges every day. We are on over 1,000 campuses and continue to grow. Precision Payroll has been there since day one and has helped us immensely as we grew to a truly national organization. No one in the business is better than Precision Payroll. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Charlie. What you're doing is so important. To learn more and help, go to tpusa.com. That's tpusa.com.
And for your business, let Precision Payroll make a difference for you. Call Tom at 630-242-1507. That's 630-242-1507. Or online at precisionpayroll.com.
Thank you, Charlie.
As a business owner or HR director, you've seen medical plans disappear. You've seen deductible and co-payment and total out-of-pocket expenses skyrocket. And the new prescription plans are a joke. You've been forced to accept the Obamacare compliant plans, while at the same time, labor organizations and other friends of the establishment have been given special exemptions. Thankfully, the market for group health insurance has caught up, and some companies we work with can now offer these same ACA-exempt policies for your employees. My name is Greg Eck, President of Beneficial Solutions. Our team has been reacting to ever-changing insurance markets for the past 25 years. Beneficial Solutions will arm your company with the latest tools to protect your business from potential ACA penalties and make the most of your employee benefit dollars. Call us now so we can game plan before open enrollment season arrives at 630-717-8282. That's 630-717-8282. Or find us online at beneficialsolutions.com.
I just love CertaPro painters. You know, they've been to our home twice now, painted our chipped front porch and my son's bedrooms. Sharp lines, vibrant colors. And you know, fall is right around the corner, the season of colors, so now is the perfect time to update your home. Whether it's a bold new warm color for the dining room or a fresh take on your home's exterior, call CertaPro painters to transform and protect your home before cold weather arrives. Plus, the holidays will be here before you know it. So now is the perfect time to give your home that updated look you've been wanting. Call now to schedule your fall painting project. 1-800-GO-CERTA. I trust CertaPro painters in my home. They were nice guys. They cleaned up after themselves. There wasn't a single drop of paint anywhere except on my beautiful walls. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated, so you'll feel confident knowing that these are local business owners who are part of your community. Call now for your free fall painting estimate at 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's 1-800-GOCERTA. Or visit CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
This is Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob.
His company put their trust in Air Comfort to keep their business running cool all summer. Bob knows the value of proper chiller maintenance that includes end-of-season service, so he'll be ready for next summer.
I'm ready.
Dave, on the other hand, thought he could put off servicing his chiller at the end of last season and had 3 complete shutdowns this summer. Needless to say, his staff and customers were not happy. Moral of the story? Preventative maintenance will save you time, money, and trouble. As the hot weather ends, you need maintenance on your chiller before the start of next season. Air Comfort has one of the largest commercial and industrial service groups in the Chicago area, with a dedicated factory-trained chiller department that takes a scientific approach to analyzing your system and determining any needed maintenance. They know how to work on large equipment, perform an analysis of your chiller, and get you ready for next season. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Collectors of coins, currency investors, and people who want to check out fantastic history make plans to attend the Illinois Numismatic Association's 57th Coin and Currency Show at the Tinley Park Convention Center, September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. Admission and parking are free. Just bring your photo ID. This is one of the largest shows in the country, with hundreds of dealers, the best coin dealers from all over the country. See displays valued at millions of dollars, U.S. and world paper money, gold and silver bullion, and a lot more. If you're a serious collector, an investor, or just want to find out more about coins, currency, and collectibles, this show is a can't miss. Saturday, lots of events for the kids, including a treasure hunt and a youth auction. Friday, don't miss the Fox Valley's coin auction at 5. Preview is before that. The Illinois Numismatic Association's 57th Coin and Currency Show, September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th at the Tinley Park Convention Center. Admission and parking are free with your photo ID. Get more information at ilnaclub.org. That's ilnaclub.org.
Here are the stories we're following right now. Fire destroys a West Side strip mall. Uber debuting its scheduling feature in Chicago today. WIND Chicago News Time, 6.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. Hillary Clinton's taking another day off.
I'm now taking my doctor's advice, which was given to me on Friday that I ignored.
As the Democrat talks about her dizzy spell on Sunday, Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the Democrat explained on CNN why she decided to try to keep up her busy schedule after her pneumonia diagnosis last week.
Well, I just didn't think it was going to be that big a deal.
Today, President Obama will campaign for Clinton while she recuperates. At the same time, Clinton is calling on her opponent to release more information about his health.
Donald Trump's doctor said he'd be the healthiest president in history. That's just not even serious.
Trump, who says he hopes Clinton gets well, says he'll reveal recent medical tests Thursday on the Dr. Oz show. Dave.
Rachel, Donald Trump keeps countering Clinton's attack on his supporters, bringing several of them on stage at a rally last night in North Carolina.
After all the horrible scandals that Hillary Clinton's been involved in, and then she has the gall to call us deplorable. It's unbelievable.
The Democrats said many of Trump's backers are racist or homophobic or Islamophobic. House Republicans will hold another hearing on Clinton's emails today. A ceasefire is said to be holding in Syria. Fox's Jessica Gottler is live on the Israeli-Syrian border.
The Israeli military is conducting exercises off and on here in the Golan Heights, right on the border with Syria. This is the shelling from Syria into Israel overnight. Meanwhile, Israel is denying claims the Syrian military shot down 2 of its aircraft, a drone and a warplane. The military here says 2 surface-to-air missiles were launched from Syria but missed its aircraft. The 2 countries have been at war since Israel captured the Golan Heights decades ago. Meanwhile, former United Nations Secretary General Kofi Annan says a week-long nationwide ceasefire in war-torn Syria appears to be holding, despite the fact the opposition has yet to fully agree to the terms. Dave.
Jessica, drama during Ryan Lochte's debut on Dancing with the Stars.
Swimming is a, excuse me.
2 men rushed the stage in protest. They were later arrested. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Some clouds, 66 degrees. 6:02 is our time on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Gun violence skyrocketing in Chicago. So yesterday, over 3,000 have been shot so far this year. The South Side alone has seen 324 shootings, one of those a teen killed on Sunday. The Illinois prosecutor looking into police shootings of a black teenager now wants a grand jury to hear evidence about how police handled that case. We get an update on this developing story from AM 560's David Stewart.
Special Prosecutor Patricia Brown Holmes says a grand jury is the fairest way to determine if charges are warranted against cops suspected of trying to cover up the 2014 shooting of the 17-year-old and possibly their supervisors. The officers are under suspicion since their accounts of the incident differ dramatically from the dashcam video showing Officer Jason Van Dyke shoot McDonald 16 times. The judge who appointed Holmes has agreed to impanel a grand jury. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
2 firefighters are hospitalized. The strip mall is gone, destroyed after a massive fire. Witnesses say it began at the Family Dollar on the West Side's East Garfield Park neighborhood around 7 p.m. The strip mall had been there for over 30 years. Beginning today, Chicago Uber riders can book a ride up to a month in advance. The driving service is debuting its scheduling feature. It's already up and running in Washington, D.C. and a few other West Coast cities. And an 89-year-old pushcart vendor in the Little Village neighborhood will be able to finally retire, thanks to online donors who've raised more than $135,000 for him. Joel Cervantes says he and a friend came up with the idea for the GoFundMe page after seeing Fidencio Sanchez struggling with his heavy cart full of frozen ice pops last week. The Tribune reports Sanchez was at work Sunday, but now says he plans to get out from behind the cart, finally rest at home with his wife. Kyle Hendricks took a no-hitter into the ninth. Cubs beat the Cardinals 4-1. White Sox smack around 16 hits in an 11-4 rout of the Indians. Monday Night Football, Steelers and 49ers winners. The news service of Firestone Complete Auto Care. Who says cars have to act their age? Gear up for fall driving this Thursday through Sunday at Firestone Complete Auto Care. You can save big, like $100 off any purchase of $500 or more. Firestone Complete Auto Care. Whatever you drive a Firestone. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
We know you have absolutely no chance of winning the lotto, and you buy the ticket anyway.
The Dave Ramsey Show.
You are 27 times more likely to be killed in a car wreck driving to the market 1 mile than to buy the winning ticket when you get there. That's how bad the statistical evidence is on it, which makes you mathematically challenged. The lotto ticket is a tax on people who can't do math.
Dave Ramsey, weeknights starting at 7. Presented by Wintrust Community Bank on AM 560. The Answer.
Focus. You need it to run a business, so don't let legal questions distract you. Use LegalZoom instead. Things like lease agreements and employment laws get complicated, but they're part of running a business. That's why LegalZoom built a network of independent attorneys in 48 states. You can rely on them for the legal details without paying by the hour, since LegalZoom isn't a law firm. So focus on growing your business and use LegalZoom for the legal stuff. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. This could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A General Steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 800-98-STEEL. 800-98-STEEL. That's 800-987-8335.
6:06. Check of the roads this morning in our AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. In Northwest Indiana, 8094 westbound is really jammed now from Grant to Calumet Avenue, where there's a crash in the left lane, and there's road work in that area as well from Kennedy to Indianapolis Boulevard in the 2 left lanes, so it's a really heavy delay. Consider the Indiana Toll Road or Ridge Road as possible alternates. Reagan Tollway, eastbound 88, we're seeing an early delay from Roosevelt to the Eisenhower. Also, the eastbound Adams Tollway is heavy bussy to Lee. The Edens is still fine. The Kennedy, a little heavy out of the River Road toll. Outbound a bit tight approaching Sayre. Westbound 190 has delays from the Kennedy to Manheim. Mount Eisenhower, 39 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound 30. Stevenson is 44 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 46 after a crash at Harlem. Ryan, 19 minutes. 95th to the Loop. Outbound, it's 20 minutes with some road work clearing near the split. I-57, 40 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Bishop 422. Traffic to service of account debts. Accounting and finance salaries are on the rise in 2017. Got an in-depth salary forecast for more than 400 accounting and finance roles in your area by visiting them at AccountTemps.com. AccountTemps, a Robert Half company. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, more humid with clouds and sun, with a shower or thunderstorm in spots for the afternoon. High 82. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a shower or thunderstorm around, low 63. A morning shower in spots, then some sun tomorrow, high 72. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
66 at O'Hare. Next news at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Speaking to wealthy donors, Hillary Clinton called tens of millions of Americans deplorable.
She divides people into baskets as though they were objects, not human beings.
I'm feeling so much better. Like a lot of people, I just thought I could keep going forward and power through it, and obviously that didn't work out so well.
Did the staff not know that she had pneumonia on Friday? Am I right in reading that from what you're saying?
All I'm saying is I just would hope that you drill in with the same detail with his team as you're drilling in with ours.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, talking Hillary's health. And by the way, don't listen to me when I say these are legitimate questions, particularly if you're inclined to disagree with the center-right perspective on candidates and policy and politics. I'll defer my time to Josh Earnest, the Dickensian-named White House spokesman.
The president's opinion on this, I think, can be judged based on the way that he has handled this question when he's been president, and he's arranged for his physician to communicate information to the American public about his health. So I think those are entirely legitimate questions, but how they're answered is something that the individual candidates have to decide for themselves.
Well, that's it. So they're legitimate questions. And again, we have talked about on this show the standards that are previously set by previous presidents when they were candidates on both sides. Bill Clinton in 1992, when he made his doctors available for questions to be asked by the New York Times and others, and he disclosed medical records. He was a little resistant, but he ultimately did it. Wide-ranging medical records, including some embarrassing bouts he had with hemorrhoids and things like that.
Yeah, that go in the TMI category.
Well,
but I mean, it was a condition.
But erring on the side of disclosure, which you have a responsibility to do as a presidential candidate.
And I watched John McCain. I watched file video of that yesterday, and the reporters filing in, sitting at tables, assigned seats, and just plowing through all his medical records, and then somebody there making sure they don't take him out of the room.
1,000 pages of medical records that John McCain released. Bob Dole, 72 years old, when he was the Republican candidate for president in 1996, same thing. Legitimate questions about his health and his capacity, and those questions were asked and answered, and then the issue went away. That's a different choice than Hillary Clinton has made. And, of course, there's a lot of diagnoses from afar. And so let's get an informed second opinion from, how about somebody that's a doctor in the area of neuroscience? We're pleased to be joined by Dr. David Frim. He is a professor of surgery, professor of neurology and pediatrics, and the chief section of neurosurgery at the University of Chicago Hospitals. Dr. Frim, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome.
So before we give you our half-baked theories, and we'll get to those, but why don't you give us a fully baked assessment, your fully baked assessment from afar, admittedly, but your assessment of everything you've seen so far from Hillary, as well as the explanation she's provided for particularly the incident over the weekend.
So first I should say I'm a neurosurgeon by training, and pneumonia and collapsing, those sorts of medical problems are a bit out of my area of expertise. But I think that some issues have been brought up in areas of my expertise, such as head injury or head trauma.
Right.
But I watch TV, I guess, like everybody else does, and I think both candidates seem to be very energetic, and they seem to not have any of the stigmata that one would have of incapacity. They don't seem to have problems with memory. They don't seem to have problems with movement. This is just watching on TV. You can't really say much more in specific because I certainly haven't examined anyone. I haven't looked at any records. I think I'm just an observer from afar here.
But can you pass out? I mean, can you have paralysis? Because it looked as if her knees buckled and she couldn't have control of her feet. Can that happen from dehydration and being overheated?
Certainly, if someone is hot, is dehydrated, they can feel faint. They can feel unwell, vomiting, nausea, all sorts of symptoms like that. That would be very reasonable.
Well, there's been some supposition about underlying conditions that Hillary Clinton may have. I'm not suggesting she does. I don't know. But there was a metal piece, it appeared, from video, that close-up video that was taken on Sunday. There seemed to be some kind of metal piece or metal device that fell from inside her pant leg when she kind of collapsed and had to be dragged into the SUV that was waiting. And we had one email from a nurse that suggested, again, she doesn't know, but she's just making a suggestion that there are these seizure alert devices that persons with epilepsy have that can alert them to an oncoming seizure, and perhaps that was a piece or that was a device. Is that a possibility?
I suppose any question you start with, is that a possibility? it's a difficult question to answer. I didn't see that video, and so I can't really comment specifically about it.
But there are such devices. Is that
there are not specific devices that are so good at detecting a seizure that you can have it set to give some sort of treatment. But there are things that can be used for detecting surrogate things, like changes in heart rate or changes in blood pressure.
So monitoring devices, essentially.
That's correct.
All right. So, according to Hillary Clinton, she told Anderson Cooper that she's taking antibiotics to take care of the pneumonia. Should she even be around people? Is that contagious? I know she went to see her grandkids right away because she said grandkids are the best medicine. But is she infecting other people?
My guess, and it's not a particularly educated one without knowing any of the information, is that she may have overextended herself, as she says. There's many reasons that someone can get pneumonia, and it's unlikely that would be contagious in that situation. More a reflection on things going on in her life than catching something that she could give to her grandchildren. Presumably fluids and antibiotics and some rest, that would probably be the easiest way to treat that.
Another theory that's out there, and again, we're just trying to address theories with as informed opinions as we can find, is that she may have an underlying condition such as Parkinson's disease. And one of the arguments that's been made, including by at least a couple of doctors I've seen, again, diagnosing from afar, which is always dangerous, but the indicators such as these blue sunglasses she wears, and that I guess blunts the impact of Parkinson's in some material way by the way that light is received. Is there any veracity to such a suggestion as, again, a possibility?
So again, we're diagnosing from afar by watching on television. So I'm not sure that one can say anything definitive about that.
No, it's not intended to be definitive. It's speculative, but I mean, is that something that Parkinson's sufferers use? Is that a legitimate supposition?
I think, given the way she looks when she is moving, given the way she speaks, I think it would be very far-fetched to come to any conclusion like that. But again, we're all looking from afar.
Well, walk through some of the symptoms of Parkinson's.
So Parkinson's is a disease in general that we think of movement, lack of fluidity of movement, and then it can progress as time goes by to further impairment of movement, of balance. And there's a particular way that people with Parkinson's, as it advances, walk and move their extremities. Certainly that would be, in general, evident as the disease progresses. And she doesn't seem to someone watching from afar to look particularly that way. So I think it would be very difficult to draw a conclusion in that direction.
Now, back in 2012, she apparently became dehydrated and fell inside her home, and there was bleeding on the outside of the brain. Could that have a lasting effect and hurt her in the future?
So if it's very severe, a lot of bleeding that's affected the brain, one would imagine that it could, but that doesn't seem to be the case, at least as far as I could tell from my brief scanning of some of the news reports from that time. She seemed to not particularly have any injury and to recover very well. So I think that's, again, something that would be very far-fetched to conclude.
All right. right, he is Dr. David Frim. He is a professor of surgery, professor of neurology and pediatrics, and the chief of the section of neurosurgery at the University of Chicago Hospitals. Dr. Frim, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Oh, you're very welcome. Have a good morning.
You too. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Wow. All right, today, humid, clouds, sun. It's a whole smorgasbord of weather conditions. And a thunderstorm in spots this afternoon, a high of 81 degrees. Tonight, a thunderstorm around. And for tomorrow, we're going to have a shower in the area in the morning, otherwise clouds. Breaking for some sun and a high of 72. Any drama on the roadways? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Good morning. Oh, you've got some real trouble spots today. 8094 westbound is just a mess from Broadway to Calumet Avenue. There's a crash there in the left lane, plus some road work in the two left lanes starting at Kennedy Avenue. Indiana Toll Road is fine as an alternate. You could head south to Ridge Road as well. Eastbound Adams Tollway, it's now jammed. Bussy to Lee due to a crash in the left lane. I-57, even more brutal than usual since this road work or CTA work started at 95th. Looking at 40 minutes already from I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford is at 22 minutes. Eden's fine. Eden's a little tight approaching the junction. Got about a 2-minute delay starting at Pratt. Kennedy, 22 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 23. The Eisenhower's 40 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 32. Stevenson, 45 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 46 after a crash at Harlem. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
We've got some more speculation on that metal object involving Hillary. We'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes. But guys, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone number? I know my number. Low T Center made it easy. I went to the Low T Center and took a simple blood test, and with their on-site lab, I was able to get my results in minutes. If you're a man over 40 and have noticed a decline in energy, stamina, or libido, you may have low testosterone. Low T levels make you feel tired and grumpy. It can raise your cholesterol and even cause weight gain. And in honor of Prostate Health Month, Low T Center is offering a $50 testosterone and prostate level test. So guys, if you don't know your numbers, haven't met your deductible, or don't have insurance, you should take advantage of this offer. It's quick, easy, and you'll get your results in about 20 minutes. So do yourself a favor and call 630-409-4305. Tell them Dan Prof sent you. That's 630-409-4305, or visit them online at lowtcenter.com.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President of Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. Tammy wanted to contact a realtor before purchasing a home in Buffalo Grove. Bad move. Not getting pre-qualified by me before talking to a realtor is like serving a bacon double cheeseburger to a rabbi. Not kosher. I pre-qualified Tammy to purchase a home and introduced her to Gary Ellis, my preferred Buffalo Grove realtor. If you're purchasing a home, call me first. I'll pre-qualify you for free and introduce you to my experienced team of preferred realtors who will help you locate the perfect home. My team of real estate experts will always look out for your financial best interest. If you're buying a home, give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License 4358, RMLA, NMLS 19186.
I've suffered from psoriasis, mainly on the scalp, for 28 years. I went through 8 dermatologists.
If you suffer from psoriasis or vitiligo, you know the pain and embarrassment. Now there's a simple non-medication solution called Extract. Extract treats areas using a unique targeted light therapy.
You have no idea how thick the plaque was on my scalp. Now I'm very close to having clear skin. I'm thrilled with my results.
With clinical studies showing immediate results with up to 95% clearance, Extract simply works. Extract is covered by all major insurances and Medicare and will help you find a doctor close by.
I just want to thank you for the great results of my psoriasis, thanks to Extract. My scalp hasn't looked and felt this good for years. I'm forever grateful for Extract.
Call now to live Extract Clear. Call 800-499-4281. That's 800-499-4281. 800-499-4281 or xtracradio.com. Qualified patients, certain restrictions apply.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, let me just ask a simple question. And again, this is purely speculative. But let's say Hillary Clinton did have an underlying condition like epilepsy or even early onset Parkinson's. Would that matter to you with respect to your vote? If It was clear she was still able to be president of the United States if she could do her job. Now, forget the policy and what she would. I'm just taking about it in terms of her health and her ability to function at the highest of levels as president of the United States. Does it matter to you? I mean, obviously, people with epilepsy, people with Parkinson's perform all kinds of professional duties. So would it matter to you? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line.
Well, if she had epileptic seizures, she wouldn't be able to drive, but that's not a concern because she's had Secret Service driving her around for almost 3 decades now.
Right.
I mean, it's
not
perfect.
an issue.
But in terms of what if something happens, where she gets a call at 3 a.m. in the morning and she has a seizure, is she of sound mind to make a decision? Or will it pass soon and then she'll be able to recover? The Parkinson's I'm not so worried about because Parkinson's affects everybody differently. And to me, it does not look like she has Parkinson's.
Well, I'm not.
I'm just saying.
Let's assume she doesn't.
I'm not worried about the Parkinson's.
I'm not
the
suggesting
seizures,
she
yes.
has anything. I just want if she did, because because of her opaqueness has created all of these suggestions. If she did have an underlying condition, as some have suggested, speculating about Parkinson's, speculating about epilepsy, would it matter? Here's one thing just on that issue, that this metal object that fell.
Oh, you're so obsessed with it. I'm going to get you a replica of it.
Well, we don't have an answer. And
don't look for one in the Hillary campaign.
Text from 847 on this topic. The patient holds a metal chip, so when they lose control, they drop it, and the sound alerts their handlers. That's what they're suggesting was that metal piece that you saw in the video. Here's another theory on that. That is interesting. When you faint, your hand goes limp and you lose motor function, so they gave her a piece of metal that would provide an audible cue to let them know she fainted. This allows the agents, Secret Service, to maintain their 360-degree awareness while simultaneously being aware of the moment she faints. If you watch the video, she wobbles, drops the item, and immediately gets swarmed, suggesting the item came from her hand, not from her pant leg, and it's difficult to tell from the video. They also tighten the box around her to prevent people from getting a better view. The takeaway here is that it was a rehearsed maneuver. They have practiced this and were prepared for it. You don't prepare for someone to experience massive health issues unless you know how sick they are. That's one theory about the metal piece that's in the video that remains unexplained. I don't know.
Well, what does it mean to you? I mean, if she had either of those conditions. Yeah, but if she had either of those conditions, do you think, whether it be Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, do you think that they should be able to be allowed to be president?
I mean,
or they could be effective in their jobs.
I would defer to medical experts and to say, is the condition that this person has, does it preclude them from fulfilling the responsibilities of President of the United States for 4 years or 8 years? At least in 8-year diagnoses are tough. Obviously, lots of things can come up. But the idea is this person right now, there's no foreseeable limitation on their ability to be president of the United States for the next 4 years. That, I guess, would be my question to medical professionals, to doctors. And if they say no, that person could do the job, then that's good enough for me. And the point is, if Hillary did have this an underlying condition like this, and it was not something that would preclude her from fulfilling her duties as president, the best play, of course, would have been for her to lead with it. And then this would have all been past post. But because she is so preternaturally dishonest and incapable of disclosure of anything except as a last resort for political damage control, she has put herself in this position.
Yeah, her first reaction is to lie and to protect herself when actually she's hurting herself.
Dan and Evanston, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, I just want to keep it quick. Oh, Amy, I used to take care of your father up in Evanston, Swedish. But I've been around the medical field for about 30 years, and I don't know the physician's first name, but there's a man that wants to keep his job.
Okay, thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Hiring people is probably the worst part of my job. It's such a hassle, the searching, the sorting through resumes. Most people don't have the right experience.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. Right from the start, you could tell it was going to make hiring a lot easier. One click and my job was posted to 100+ job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them. Thumbs up if I liked them, thumbs down if I didn't. No emails and attachments, printing up docs, phone calls, none of that.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I had the person we needed within 1 week. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Whether you're looking to fill one position or 20, find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 100+ job sites. ZipRecruiter, the fastest way to hire. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio offer. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio offer. ZipRecruiter.com/radio offer.
Text from Ann B. Davis's bowling ball. I've noticed that whenever Hillary Clinton's lips move, she lies. Should we worry about her pants catching fire? And text from 773, that piece of metal, that's Hillary's 14th device.
Nice.
You've heard me talk about how your business can profit from having an updated phone system at zero cost. The truth is, an outdated system can mean lost revenue. That's why AM560 chooses to work with Innovative Networks. They excel at providing innovative solutions to reinforce your company's phone infrastructure and enhance call flow. We appreciate how comprehensive, diligent, and cost-effective Innovative Networks was in providing network solutions that scale as our business expands. Not only can they replace your outdated phone system at no cost, Innovative Networks will provide hands-on training to maximize your capabilities. You'll save money and be more focused on growing your business. AM560 is thrilled with Innovative Networks, so follow our lead and call Innovative Networks at 312-889-9090. They're A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau. Call 312-889-9090 or visit go4inet.com. That's go, the number 4inet.com.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we'll talk to author Tevi Troy and get a distillation of the last 2 centuries of disaster management from the Oval Office at 6:36.
And some tense moments for contestants on Dancing with the Stars as protesters storm the stage. We'll have it here. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, the U.S. has sent 2 nuclear-capable supersonic bombers streaking over South Korea today. The show of force meant to cow North Korea after its recent nuclear testing. Also, to settle rattled nerves in the South, it was a B-1B bomber escorted by U.S. and South Korean jets. Hillary Clinton talking about her health after she says she was diagnosed with pneumonia.
I felt overheated. I decided that I did need to leave, and as soon as I got into the air-conditioned van, I cooled off, I got some water, and very quickly, I felt better.
In an interview on CNN, the Democratic presidential nominee acknowledged she did not follow doctors' advice. Polls continue to tighten dramatically in the presidential race. According to an NBC News survey, a tracking poll, Clinton with a 4-point lead over Republican Donald Trump, who is tearing into Clinton for describing some of his supporters as deplorable.
I was thus deeply shocked and alarmed to hear my opponent attack, slander, smear, demean these wonderful, amazing people.
Speaking at a National Guard Association convention in Baltimore, the NCAA says it will not be holding 7 championship events in North Carolina. The NCAA announced the move yesterday in response to the state's so-called bathroom law. The latest rankings of the top colleges and universities in the U.S. resemble last year's honor roll. U.S. News and World Report naming Princeton the top national university. Harvard ranked number 2, just ahead of Yale, tied with newcomer, the University of Chicago. A special prosecutor looking into the Laquan McDonald police shooting wants a grand jury to hear evidence about how police handled that case. 2 firefighters are hospitalized and recovering. A strip mall is gone after a massive blaze overnight in the East Garfield Park neighborhood around 7 p.m. And a new study this morning is suggesting those of us who live in the state of Illinois are not happy. WalletHub releasing a report yesterday ranking the land of Lincoln at number 25 of the 50 states in the category of happiest. Illinois scored low in the work environment category, which was one of the major criteria. Cubs beat the Cardinals 4-1. White Sox an 11-4 rout of the Indians. The news is service of Accountemps. 2017 salary guide is here. Check it out for instant access to the up-to-date salary forecast for more than 400 accounting and finance jobs where you live. Visit them at accountemps.com. Accountemps, a Robert Half company.
Mike Gallagher says, despite the obstacles, Trump is still fighting.
Despite everything that's being thrown at him by every media organization, every prominent Republican insider, the lack of support from current Republicans, the RNC for that matter, he does not have the backing of just about anyone, and he's in this thing.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas. Best beans, best roast, best coffee.
Hiring people is probably the worst part of my job. It's such a hassle, the searching, the sorting through resumes. Most people don't have the right experience.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. Right from the start, you could tell it was going to make hiring a lot easier. One click and my job was posted to 100+ job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them. Thumbs up if I like them, thumbs down if I didn't. No emails and attachments, printing up docs, phone calls, none of that.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I had the person we needed within 1 week. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Whether you're looking to fill one position or 20, find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 100+ job sites. ZipRecruiter, the fastest way to hire. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work. ZipRecruiter.com/work.
It is 6:36. Let's get an update on the roads in our AM 560 traffic center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Eastbound Adams Tollway I-98 is jammed solid from Arlington Heights Road to Lee with a crash in the left lane. Huge delays on westbound 8094. This is now from near I-65 to Calumet Avenue, where there's a crash in the left lane. Roadwork mixed in as well. Kennedy Avenue to Indianapolis Boulevard. Eden's inbound, 21 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 19. The Kennedy, 34 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 26. The Eisenhower is a 49-minute drive from Thorndale to the post office, outbound 38. Stevenson, now brutal with heavy delays. Weber most of the way to Damon. An hour and 20 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 50 minutes. Bryan, 30 minutes, 95th to the Loop, I-57, 40 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Mission 422. Traffic service of Firestone Complete Auto Care. Who says cars have to act their age? You're up for full driving this Thursday through Sunday. Firestone Complete Auto Care. You can save big, like $100 off any purchase of $500 or more. Firestone Complete Auto Care. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. A little more humid this afternoon. We could see a thunderstorm. We'll top out at 81 and have a low of 64 overnight with showers continuing. 65 at O'Hare. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour Radio Show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pure Shale Financial Group.
See Alan West and Michelle Malkin at Freedom Summit Chicago 2016. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Obamacare, remember that? I'm sure you do. You're living under it. I wonder what Obamacare plan Hillary has. Maybe that's something else that should be asked in terms of her disclosure, the kind of care she's getting versus the kind of care and associated costs regular Americans are getting. More, perhaps, more fodder for the ruling class rhetoric that Trump is using. I love this story, and we've talked about this issue before, what's happening in terms of people finding a solution around government central planning that negatively impacts their life. For example, the Obamacare gambit. This from the Daily Signal, which is the Heritage Foundation product. It's the story about Samaritan Ministries and the 184,000 people who are members of the Samaritan Ministries pool, if you will, of in terms of healthcare sharing costs. healthcare sharing ministries where members, there's no health insurance company, members pay for a health event of another member. So you pool your resources, and I have a friend in one of these things too. So, for example, if somebody in the pool if I get sick, then you'll get a note saying you have to send $50 to Dan, and a bunch of other people say you have to send $50 to Dan for him to pay for this procedure he needs, and that's how it works. It's all a voluntary pool of health share of cost sharing for healthcare. What do you mean? What the heck is it? And then also you have the individual looking at places like the Oklahoma Surgery Center where they're putting market prices on different procedures, and you're cutting out the middlemen and all the bureaucracy and all the opacity of healthcare. It's just very interesting. Obamacare, domestic policy issues like Obamacare, still very important. And
the checks in the mail, by the way, to help you with your procedure.
Oh, we're not going to be in the same pool because I don't trust a timely disbursement from you. So that's not going to happen.
It's in the mail.
But our next guest is well positioned to talk about this, among other things. He is Tevi Troy. He's a former Deputy Secretary of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, former White House aide. He's also the author of the new book, Shall We Wake the President? 2 Centuries of Disaster Management from the Oval Office, and perhaps in the Oval Office. Tevi Troy, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a real pleasure.
So your book kind of goes through all of the unexpected catastrophes that a president of the United States will encounter, things we can't predict, which is why we think about kind of skill sets and character so much, because we have to have confidence that this person is going to be able to handle whatever comes their way. And kind of what's the takeaway from reviewing how different presidents have handled different exigent circumstances?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Dan. I think the issue that we're facing as American people right now is that we don't know what crises the next president may face, but we are confident and sure that they will face crises. There will be unexpected situations, and which candidate is better to handle them. And so through the book, I look at the history of different presidents and how they've handled crises and what we should look for in a president going forward.
And who has handled crises the best, in your opinion?
I give credit to a couple of presidents who handled it well in different areas. I give Franklin Delano Roosevelt credit for how he handled the communications around the Great Depression in terms of how he reassured the American people. Bill Clinton for helping to prevent the Y2K crisis. We don't know how bad it would have been, but he marshaled a lot of resources in terms of getting people ready for it. And then I also give Ronald Reagan credit after the Tylenol poisonings of the mid-1980s, which took place here in Chicago. He really let the private sector, in terms of Johnson & Johnson, take the lead in making sure that the thing never happened again, the terrible poisonings. And so he allowed private sector initiative to help solve the problem.
And so you're looking at the 2 aspirants to the Oval Office, and kind of what are the indicators that people should focus on in terms of making an assessment about which candidate, Trump or Hillary, would be best positioned, best able to handle whatever comes their way?
Yeah, unfortunately, I have worries in both camps on this regard. One thing that I found is that presidents have to be honest and truthful and trustworthy. If you go tell the American people that they need to take a vaccine, for example, this might happen if there's a flu of some sort, you need to have the American people be willing to trust that person. And Hillary, with her various email scandals and her long history of not being truthful and her recent health issues, I'm not sure she has the credibility with the American people. But also, when you're president, you need to get up there and say things when you know all the facts and you're ready and you can't go off half-cocked. And Donald Trump, as we all know, has a propensity for saying things off the cuff that aren't necessarily the best thing to say at that time. So I have some worries in both regards. On the positive side, let me just briefly say, I think Donald Trump did a good job with the Louisiana floods when he went down there and showed compassion by handing out supplies. And Hillary Clinton has a good sense of all of the various mechanisms of government that would be brought into play during a crisis.
Well, what about President Obama? I mean, what kind of disasters did they face, and do you think that they handled them well?
I mean, in addition to his actual tenure.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that, and I talk about this in the book, early on, President Obama seemed a little overwhelmed by all the things that were coming at him. Remember the BP oil spill?
Yeah.
And then there was the 2009 swine flu, at point none of his appointees to HHS had yet been confirmed by the Senate. And then there was the pirate incident. It's not really a full-on disaster, but at one point, and I have this in the book, he said to his aides, who thought we were going to have to deal with pirates?
So there was just a sense that here was a guy who had not had executive experience, who was really beset by a whole bunch of problems and may not have been ready for all of it.
And what about some of the self-inflicted ones, mentioning Obamacare at the outset? You're a former deputy secretary of HHS, and you've also held a number of high-level policy positions for senators and in think tanks. What about Obamacare? What about the self-inflicted disasters?
Right. So I write a lot about Obamacare, know a lot about it. It's outside the kind of disaster I talk about in the book, but it clearly is a very problematic piece of legislation. It basically has become a high-cost subsidy for some low-income people, an add-on to Medicaid. The exchanges aren't working in terms of getting the number of healthy people you have to offset the sick people. You were talking before about that kind of cooperative, I guess, where people would help each other out. And for something like that to work, you need a lot of healthy people and not to be overwhelmed by sick people. The Obamacare exchanges have just the wrong number of people in terms of the risk pools.
So you knew Obamacare was going to be a disaster even before it was implemented?
I was one of these people who was very critical of Obamacare and warning about it beforehand, and I was concerned from the very beginning about some of these problems coming place. But I take no pleasure in the fact that they're coming to fruition.
Well, right. I mean, it's, but we have, when we talk about disasters, I know you're talking about kind of natural disasters and things that are external, but what's the old Groucho Marx line about politicians creating the problems and then misapplying the wrong remedies? There's that aspect of it too. As you look at the threats that are on the horizon, which is what policymakers are doing, which is what the two presidential candidates and their supporting aides are doing, particularly in the international arena, but even things like disease. What are things that, as a policy advisor, you would be recommending either one of the candidates game plan for in anticipation of serving as president?
Yeah, I'll say two things in this regard. So first of all, because you don't know what could happen, I think each transition, and the transitions are active right now, should have what's called a black swan team to prepare for the unexpected. I know I worked on the Romney transition, and we did have a team like that that was thinking about what happens if there's a massive flu outbreak or something like that. Mm-hmm. The other thing is there is one crisis, and it's related to what you were saying, Dan, that is completely predictable, which is the long-term fiscal crisis that we face. And if the next president is elected and serves 2 terms, they're going to serve into about 2025. And at that point, you really are facing the Medicare Trust Fund starting to go bankrupt and Medicaid payments going over $1 trillion a year and a whole bunch of fiscal issues, including the debt well over $20 trillion by that point, that could potentially lead to an economic collapse if we don't get smart about how to handle this kind of thing. So I think that's an utterly predictable crisis, and I think whoever is president needs to start dealing with it.
All right. He is Tevi Troy. He's a presidential historian, former White House aide, former deputy secretary of HHS. The book is Shall We Wake the President? 2 Centuries of Disaster Management from the Oval Office. Tevi, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, why did they storm the stage at last night's live Dancing with the Stars premiere?
It was like when I did Dancing with the Chicago Stars.
Exactly.
Protesters.
Protesters arrested. And who were they targeting? We'll explain. But first, here's your forecast. Some thick clouds out there, but we will have some sunshine by late this morning. And by this afternoon, a thunderstorm in spots. It will be warm and humid, a high of 81 degrees. Let's get those travel times. Anything hot and sticky on the roadways? Here's Jim Delamonte.
Amy, 8094 westbound's a sticky mess. I-65 to Indianapolis Boulevard. 2 left lanes are closed with road construction. Eastbound 94, we're seeing some delays past the Indiana Toll Road to State Road 249 due to construction. Eastbound Adams Tollway, slow going from Arlington Heights Road to Lee, where a crash is cleared. Northbound Tri-State heavy from the mile-long bridge to 47th, from the Reagan all the way to North Avenue, where there's a stall in the right lane. Edens is 26 minutes, Lake Hook to Junction, outbound 23. The Kennedy, 35 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 37. The Ike, now an hour and 3 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, outbound 38 minutes. The Stevenson, an hour and 20 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 55 minutes from the Tri-State, outbound 50 to 355. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to the Loop, I-57, 40 minutes, I-80 to the Merge. Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Tesla says it's improving
Swimming is
its
excuse me.
autopilot
Hey,
target
back
to hire
off.
more than
Excuse me.
70,000
Excuse
people
me.
for the holiday season.
Excuse
Those
me.
stories
Oh,
next.
oh.
Bill Bennett here to tell
Excuse
you
me.
Augusta Precious Metals.
Wow.
Stock market crash of 2008.
Okay.
wiped out as much as 50% of IRA or 401k accounts. Can you afford to lose again if the next crash comes? What if you could store your IRA or 401k where you can see, touch, and hold it in your hands? Well, with the Augusta Gold and Silver IRA, you can transfer retirement savings into physical
So many
coins
feelings
and
are going
store
through
them
my
where
head
you
right
can
now.
actually
A little
hold them
hurt.
in your hands.
But you know, I came out here. I wanted to do something that I'm completely not comfortable with, and I did.
6993 and receive a free gold and silver IRA guide. There is no obligation. It's rated A+ with the Better Business Bureau. Augusta Precious Metals.
Swimming is a, excuse me.
98% 5-star customer satisfaction rating with TrustLink.org. Trust Augusta. Call Augusta Precious Metals today at 855-222-6993. That's 855-222-6993. 855-222-6993.
Investors today looking to build on yesterday's gains. The green arrows driven by dovish comments on interest rates by several Fed officials. Their comments soothing fears of an imminent rate hike. Investors today also watching the Small Business Optimism Index. Target to hire more than 70,000 seasonal store workers for the busy holiday shopping season. That's in addition to the 7,500 people hired for its distribution facilities. Tesla making major improvements to the autopilot system used by vehicles. CEO Elon Musk says the changes will dramatically cut the number and severity of crashes they're involved in. This past May, there was a fatal crash of a Tesla Model S using the semi-autonomous mode. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
About 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. I went from being able to work 14, 16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store without having to stop and rest. I went on to the phytonutrients about 6 months ago, and within a couple of months, my medical doctor had cut my prescriptions down in a little bit smaller dosage. The next time I went back a month later, I walked into the doctor's office and he says, "My gosh, what's happened to you? You don't even look like the same person." He looked at my legs and the swelling had gone down. My blood pressure was down. The venous stasis ulcers that I had had on my legs for the last 4 or 5 years because of the poor circulation were all healed, and I'm feeling far better.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity. 14-year-old Jerica Bolin is a lovely young lady who suffers from a terrible disease. Jerica has undergone nearly 40 surgeries and does not want to endure any more. Jerica's mother has assented to her daughter's death wish. I feel great empathy for Jerica and her family, but sentimentalism should not supplant reason. Our therapeutic culture tells us suffering is bad. The Apostle Paul tells us suffering is a gift from God. Our political ruling class treats individuals as liabilities to be managed rather than unique assets to develop. We're told that government-sanctioned death squads dressed in lab coats will mete out compassion. A most ghoulish example is Dr. Zeke Emanuel, Obamacare architect and brother of Chicago Mayor Tiny Dancer, who declared he wants to die by age 75, and others should too, to make the federal government actuarial tables for healthcare costs work. I want to live in an America that celebrates life as sacred, that tells Jerica she is needed, and that recognizes the mystery of God's plan for each one of us. The alternative is Zeke Emanuel's America.
AM 560, The Answer.
When dancing gets dangerous.
No, God.
Last night, did you watch Dancing with the Stars?
Of course I did not.
Season 275?
I was winning my mortgage payment in a poker game.
Oh, that's right. You play poker. Texas Hold'em?
Yeah.
Okay, well, back to what's really going on. This is a very serious crisis. Anyone who watched Dancing with the Stars last night saw this. Ryan Lochte had just performed with Cheryl Burke. They were, being critiqued by the judges, by Carrie Ann Inaba. When two protesters...
That's the name of the gorilla that was killed in Cincinnati, wasn't it?
That's Harambe.
Oh.
And they were, getting critiqued, and two men wearing white T-shirts with the name Lochte and a red circle around it and a slash through it, stormed the stage and tried to attack the swim star.
Swimming is a... Excuse me. Hey, back off. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Off.
All right.
Excuse me.
So he's lunging at Lochte.
Okay.
Security guards come in. It's chaotic.
Was that Ryan Lochte screaming there?
All right, we're going to... We'll take a break. We'll get the rest of the judges' comments.
No.
Take a deep breath.
It's mayhem.
We'll be right back.
Take a deep breath.
Wink Martindale, who hosts that show?
Tom Bergeron. Tom Bergeron was the host.
Yeah.
And
Boy, he kept us calm. Boy, it's a crisis situation. I'm impressed.
They never showed the protesters. I mean, you can see some arms, in the screen.
Yeah.
But there are two men, presumably Brazilian. Actually, no, they do have names.
They put a gun to Lochte's head and they demanded his money.
No, they didn't. They're two Brazilians who I think, conjecture on my part, were upset that he defamed Brazil, that he made Brazil look like a bunch of thugs in their country when they weren't. Sam Soraya, 48, and Brazin Sorodi, 40, both of Los Angeles, have been arrested, charged with trespassing. But
what's the second guy's name?
Sorodori.
I think
that's
so
not
one of those
it.
Anthony Weiner handles.
All right, so listen to this. Even after they're being tackled by security, 6 women wearing the same T-shirts were chanting, "Liar, liar!" Like the WWE.
Yeah.
So they were escorted out as well. They weren't charged with anything. But then Ryan Lochte, they had to interview him about how he feels because he's so hated.
So many feelings are going through my head right now. A little hurt.
Feelings are going through his head.
But, I came out here. I wanted to do something that I'm completely not comfortable with. And I did. And I came out here with a big smile. And I had the best dance partner.
Yeah.
And Cheryl Burke
he made lemonade out of it.
Cheryl Burke was clutching her stomach because she was so traumatized by this, near attack. And also, Ryan Lochte, we found out not only has he been suspended, he even can't go to the White House to meet President Obama, but the rest of his swim mates will be able to.
Yeah, but the important thing is he's pretty. And the real question is, how did Rick Perry do?
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Let's say you did a cost-benefit analysis of credentials. Would you end up picking the CPA, CFA, or CMA? Well, if you wanted a career in management accounting, you'd pick the CMA. It demands a mastery of the 11 most crucial practice areas in management accounting and can help you earn 31% more than your non-certified peers. Proof that in a cost-benefit analysis of the CMA, there's a lot more benefit than cost. The CMA certification. You've got to earn it.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Growing up in Morris, Illinois, David Welter learned you can't complain if you sit on the sidelines. So he questioned his elected officials and their wasteful spending. When they wouldn't listen, David Welter ran for county board. Because voters trusted him, David Welter cut taxes and improved the credit rating in his area. Let David Welter work for you again in Springfield. To get Illinois back on track, he'll fight to eliminate wasteful spending while fully funding education. Support David Welter for state representative in the 75th District.
Paid for by friends of David A. Welter.
Hi, I'm Paul. I used to ask if you could hear me now with Verizon, but I switched to Sprint. Sprint's network reliability is now within 1% of Verizon. Plus, Sprint changed the game again with their new unlimited data plan that gives you the freedom to do whatever.
Wow, unlimited data?
Yep.
I'd watch dog videos, cat videos, dogs with cats videos. No overages, no worries.
People seem pretty excited.
Ooh, and I play puzzle games and candy things and text, ping, post, snap, tweet, IM, DM. Hashtag best unlimited on the planet.
Can you hear that? So, switch to Sprint's Unlimited Freedom Plan. Get unlimited mobile optimized streaming videos, gaming, music, and data for $60 a month. Live your life unlimited. Live free. Visit a Sprint store, sprint.com/freedom, or call 1-800-SPRINT1 today.
Coverage and offer not everywhere for discounted phones, subject to credit and $30 activation fee. Excludes taxes, surcharges, roaming, and premium content. Streaming may be mobile optimized with video up to 480p and music up to 500 kilobytes per second. Games limited up to 2 megabytes per second. Prohibited network use rules apply, and data deprioritization during congestion. Reliability claim based on third-party data restrictions apply.
I just love CertaPro painters. They've been to our home twice now. Painted our chipped front porch and my son's bedrooms. Sharp lines, vibrant colors. And fall is right around the corner, the season of colors, so now is the perfect time to update your home. Whether it's a bold new warm color for the dining room or a fresh take on your home's exterior, call CertaPro painters to transform and protect your home before cold weather arrives. Plus, the holidays will be here before you know it. So now is the perfect time to give your home that updated look you've been wanting. Call now to schedule your fall painting project. 1-800-GO-CERTA. I trust CertaPro painters in my home. They were nice guys. They cleaned up after themselves. There wasn't a single drop of paint anywhere except on my beautiful walls. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated, so you'll feel confident knowing that these are local business owners who are part of your community.
Call now for your free fall painting estimate at 1-800-GO-CERTA. That's 1-800-GOCERTA. Or visit CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
He broke the story of Hillary's medical episode. We'll talk to Fox News Channel's Rick Leventhal at 7:07.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, fire destroys a West Side strip mall and a grand jury to hear evidence in the Laquan McDonald case. Cubs beat the Cardinals. White Sox rough up the Tribe. And WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony.
Do I look deplorable? No. What?
But she is for Donald Trump.
I am a wife, a mother. I work full time.
And one of several supporters Trump brought on stage, calling them wonderful, amazing people days after Hillary Clinton called many of his backers deplorables, racist or homophobic or Islamic phobic. Clinton says she's following doctors' orders that she first ignored.
Take some time to get over pneumonia completely.
Telling CNN's Anderson Cooper she didn't disclose Friday's pneumonia diagnosis then because she didn't think it was a big deal, but it came out after Sunday's dizzy spell and near collapse.
Hillary Clinton is off the campaign trail again today, and the rest of this week is really up in the air. She is being replaced out on the campaign trail by her husband, former President Bill Clinton, who will appear at several finance events in California and do a speaking engagement in Las Vegas.
Fox's Mike Emanuel, President Obama will also campaign for her today. There will be another House hearing today into Clinton's emails, while Secretary of State, Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, 3 tech workers who helped Clinton maintain her private email server are set to go before the House Oversight Committee. Republican Chair Jason Chaffetz wants to know why archive emails were deleted from her personal server when they were under subpoena.
Some of them are so sensitive in their nature, so classified that they will, people can die if people were to read this, the adversaries.
One of the workers set to testify is former State Department employee Brian Pagliano, who took the fifth at a Benghazi Select Committee deposition. Dave.
Rachel, Ryan Lochte's debut on Dancing with the Stars didn't go swimmingly.
All right. Excuse me.
Wow. When 2 men rushed the stage on ABC wearing anti-Lochte T-shirts protesting the Olympic swimmer who infamously lied during a robbery in Rio. Security stopped the 2 who were later arrested. Lochte says he felt a little hurt, but was not injured. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Sunshine this morning, 65 degrees, 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A special prosecutor looking into the Laquan McDonald police shooting now wants a grand jury to hear evidence about how police handled the case. Prosecutor Patricia Holmes says a grand jury is the fairest way to determine if charges are warranted against police suspected of trying to cover up in the 2014 shooting of the 17-year-old. 2 firefighters are hospitalized, and a strip mall is in ruins today after a massive blaze. It began in a Family Dollar store in the East Garfield Park neighborhood around 7 last night. A man who participated in a bribery scheme that steered $100 million in red light camera contracts to an Arizona company has received a 6-month prison sentence. District Judge Virginia Kendall, in sentencing Martin O'Malley, said the case against the man at the center of that bribery case could not have been prosecuted without O'Malley's testimony. Governor Rauner says business owners across the country are telling him his reform agenda would make it easier for them to expand into the state of Illinois. AM 560's David Stewart caught up with the governor yesterday.
Governor Rauner spent time in St. Louis Monday at a conference with Japanese business leaders. He first praised Illinois as the best place to locate or expand a business, but then he said companies tell him that they won't come unless he can win reforms.
Others say, Governor, please show that you're going to get some reforms. Reform your workers' comp system, which is one of the most expensive in America. Reform some of your labor regulations, which are some of the most restrictive in America. Reform your property tax system, which we have the highest property taxes in America.
Rauner says the businesses also demand political reforms like term limits and fair political maps. David Stewart, NBC News Radio, Chicago.
A street in Evanston has a new name this morning. The city renamed part of Church Street Samuel Johnson Place. It was a ceremony yesterday to honor a community barber who's been on that street for 70 years. Johnson still works at the Church Street Barbershop. He has cut hair of many celebrities, athletes, and just plain old walk-ins over the years. Cubs beat the Cardinals 4-1. White Sox rout the Indians 11-4. Monday Night Football, Steelers and 49ers were winners. The news service of Staples. Staples still has great deals on everything you need printed for your business. Now get 20% back in rewards on all color printing, brochures, flyers, even signs, printed same or next day. Ends October 29th. Exclusions apply. See store or staples.com for details. Staples, make more happen. 7:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
The clock is ticking. The most important political event of the year comes to Chicago on October 29th. It's Freedom Summit 2016, featuring Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, Michelle Malkin, AM 560's Mike Gallagher, Dan Proft, Amy Jacobson, and Joe Walsh. And just added, Dr. Sebastian Gorka, author of Defeating Jihad. Tickets start at just $39 and are available at freedomsummitchicago.com. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. Sponsored in part by Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists and by the Illinois Policy Institute.
Life can be unpredictable. That's why you should take control of your family's future now with an estate plan bundle from LegalZoom. Not sure whether you need a last will or a living trust? LegalZoom's network of independent attorneys in 48 states can help you decide which one's right for you without billing by the hour, since LegalZoom isn't a law firm. Plus, updating your estate plan as your family and assets grow couldn't be easier. Enjoy your life. Use LegalZoom for the legal stuff. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. This could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A General Steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 800-98-STEEL. 800-98-STEEL. That's 800-987-8335.
7:06. Check the roads in our AM 560 traffic center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Metro has a cancellation on the Union Pacific North line due to manpower issues. There are delays on the North Central line due to mechanical failures. The Edens is 26 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 23. The Kennedy, 50 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 56. The Eisenhower is now an hour and 10 minutes. Thorndale to downtown at 51 minutes from Manheim, outbound 38 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 20 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, 55 minutes from the Tri-State, outbound 51 to 355. Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown, I-57, 40 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop 422. Northbound Tri-State slow from the Stevenson to 47th and the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Adams Tollway heavy, Randall to 31, 59 to 53, and jammed Arlington Heights Road to Lee after a crash. 8094 westbound, just a mess from I-65 to Indianapolis Boulevard, where there's road construction in the two left lanes. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Clouds and sun today with an afternoon shower. Thunderstorm in spots, high 82. Then a shower or thunderstorm around tonight, low 63. A morning shower in the area. Otherwise, tomorrow not as warm as cloud break for some sun, high of 72. And a moonlit night, low 57. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
Sunshine 65 right now. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
The big Lake County Home Improvement Expo, a free home show that's open to the public, is coming to the Lake County Fairgrounds this weekend only. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen, bathroom, basement, or maybe get a new roof, flooring, windows, or siding, then this is the event for you. At this two-day expo, you'll meet local and national contractors displaying their products and services. Get new ideas, set up estimates, and talk directly with contractors, many of which are offering huge discounts. Maybe you need a new furnace, insulation, or just a handyman. You'll find everything you need under one roof. Increase the value of your home and bring your friends and family. Special announcement! Attend this free home show and get a free gift at the door. You heard it right, that's a free gift at the door. Remember, the Lake County Home Improvement Expo this weekend only at the Lake County Fairgrounds in Grays Lake. Get more information at homeshowevent.com. That's homeshowevent.com.
Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Speaking to wealthy donors, Hillary Clinton called tens of millions of Americans deplorable.
She divides people into baskets as though they were objects, not human beings.
I'm feeling so much better. Like a lot of people, I just thought I could keep going forward and power through it, and obviously that didn't work out so well.
Did the staff not know that she had pneumonia on Friday? Am I right in reading that from what you're saying?
All I'm saying is I just would hope that you drill in with the same detail with his team as you're drilling in with ours.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so all kinds of day 2 or day 2.5 stories surrounding the Hillary Clinton medical episode on Sunday, in addition to the cancellation of her schedule. Bill Clinton will surrogate for her on the West Coast at these fundraisers to do push-ups on Ellen's show.
Yes, I'm going to watch, so you don't have to. Okay,
thank you.
It's going to be today.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Announcement that they will disclose more healthcare records. The Clinton campaign will. Trump said the same thing after a recent physical before the week is out. And also fun stories like suppositions about Hillary Clinton's body double.
Yeah.
And I don't mean in the Brian De Palma body double, the movie kind of sense where Melanie Griffith was the body double. We don't have something that interesting going on here.
No, but a lot of people thought her body double. There's an actress apparently in California who looks exactly like her. That the body double
Joy
was,
Behar.
Yeah, right, exactly. That the body double was inside Chelsea's apartment and then came out and waved to the crowd and said she was fine. And then others think the body double was the person who fell and stumbled and couldn't get into the van.
And others think that she's hiding in a spider hole like Saddam Hussein while the body doubles run around providing misdirection plays. But we're not going to do conspiracy theories here. It's just fun. And we will take your body double jokes all morning, 312-642-5600. But one of the other matters that's a real political problem potentially for Hillary are these stories, including propagated by Cokie Roberts, that there is talk, back channel talk with Democrat operatives, with a former DNC chair about contingency planning in case there is a need to replace Hillary Clinton as the Democrat Party nominee, something I can't fathom will happen. I think she is like the Black Knight, that she will crawl to the finish line as needed. But there is that scuttlebutt out there, and that can't be helpful to trying to tamp down this issue and refocus the campaign on Trump, which is, of course, what she wants to do. Well, for more on this and an update where things stand, we're now happy to be joined by Rick Leventhal, senior correspondent for Fox News Channel and the reporter who broke the medical episode story on Sunday. Rick, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. My body double was not available. So.
Yeah, and who is your body double?
Yeah.
Just so we know.
I can't disclose that.
Of course, yes. I'm sure.
Who's your body double, Dan?
Ryan Lochte.
Oh.
So you will not be able to tell on Dancing with the Stars whether it's me or Ryan Lochte during his appearance. So you know some of the storylines that have now come from the story that you broke and that everybody's talking about since Sunday. Which are the most interesting to you? Which do you think have kind of the most air underneath them?
Well, I think that what is most important to voters is whether or not Hillary is fit to serve as president of the United States. And I think what we saw on Sunday morning was supportive of the counter argument that she's not. And, Donald Trump and his supporters have been saying for some time that they had questions about Hillary's health, and her campaign had dismissed those concerns or downplayed them. And now all of a sudden they got caught trying to downplay something that was clearly bigger than they said it was initially.
Well, I want to go back to Sunday morning and the logistics of how this happened. I know she was there for 90 minutes. Did you see her sneak out of the ceremony, and how were you made aware of this video of her falling down?
Well, I was actually a few blocks south of the World Trade Center site, because that's where they put the media's live positions for our coverage of the 9/11 ceremony and the anniversary. I was there on 9/11/2001, and I've been down there every year since to to be there for these ceremonies that honor the lives lost. So when we were down there doing our live shots for day of the news of the day coverage, the pool that follows Hillary Clinton was put in a press pen behind barricades in an area away from where she was. So when she left the VIP area, the area where she was standing at the memorial, because apparently she wasn't feeling well, she left that area. The pool reporters didn't even know it. They didn't see her leave, and I wasn't there to see her. But fortunately, I have a very good friend, a law enforcement officer, who was 15 feet away from the curb when she walked up and was waiting for her motorcade. So he saw her walk up. He was surprised to see her because she wasn't scheduled to leave for another hour or so. The ceremony had another 3 hours left. So he looked at his buddies. He's like, "Why is she here?" And they kind of shrugged him off. But he could tell. He told me that she didn't look well. And so it was 2 or 3 minutes before her motorcade came up because they weren't expecting her to leave at that time. And when she, as you now see in the video, stepped off the curb, she clearly stumbled. He told me he thought she fainted. She had to be helped into the vehicle. If you watch that video, you'll know that it appears that she would have fallen to the ground if those members of her protective detail hadn't been there to catch her. So as soon as her van left, her motorcade left, he called me and gave me the details of what he had seen, and I trusted him because I know him very well, and he is a high-ranking officer, and I trusted him, so I went with him.
I'm kind of obsessed with this one aspect of what we saw in that video, and that's this apparent piece of metal that fell as she fell and was caught by Secret Service, and what exactly that was. Do we have any information on that item?
Yeah, Dan, here's what I can tell you about that. My guy was right there. And when she got in the van, one of her shoes fell off. And he was among those who went over there and may or may not have been the guy who picked up her shoe off the ground and handed it to other members of her protective detail who were in those follow-on vehicles. They jumped in the other cars to take off after her and brought her shoe. He also told me that he picked up the arm of a pair of sunglasses. And whether it was the arm from her sunglasses or someone else's sunglasses in her detail, he didn't know. But he knew that he saw exactly what it was, a pair of sunglasses, an arm from a pair of sunglasses, that he picked up off the ground as well. Now, there is, and I've watched the video numerous times, and there is a noise. It sounds almost like a clanking noise that people have seized on and said, "What is that? There's no way that an arm of the sunglasses would make that kind of noise. What, fell out of her pants?" There's all these conspiracy theories about that. All I can tell you is I asked my guy, and he told me he didn't hear that noise. He didn't see any other pieces of metal on the ground. That noise could have happened off camera, and you just hear it because there's things, you're seeing what the camera's seeing, but you may not actually see what's making that noise.
Okay, that's interesting.
What he found on the ground was a shoe and the arm of a pair of sunglasses.
Okay, that's great. That's good to know.
So knowing all this information, then hearing Hillary Clinton on CNN last night saying that, I never lost consciousness, and once I got in the air-conditioned van and had some water, I was fine. Then I went to see my grandkids because it's the best medicine that you can have when you're sick is, hanging out with your grandkids and a newborn. I know. But do you believe anything now that is coming out of her mouth?
Well, I don't want to get too political here.
Oh, that's right. You would keep your job.
I just, there's been a lot of stuff that's been said that doesn't pass the smell test. And again, if you watch the video, and what my buddy told me, who was 15 feet away from her, she did not look good. And in the video, it appears that she is ready to pass out. And that they first said she was overheated. Then we find out hours later that there was pneumonia. If she was fainting from pneumonia, I've had doctors tell me she should be in the hospital on an IV. And she shouldn't be up and about 90 minutes later waving and telling people it's a beautiful day. That's not how you treat pneumonia and fainting. This is what I was told, and I don't know. But I'll tell you this. What I think is important is that had my buddy not called me and told me what happened, and had I not reported it, the Clinton camp likely would have never been pressured by everyone else to find out why she left early to the degree that they were. And the Clinton camp could have gotten away with just saying she felt overheated. We would never have known the rest of the story because they would have just brushed it off. And there would have been no pressure on them because all we would have had would have been a video on the internet, which they could have just said, "Oh, well, she left early because she she wanted to go see her daughter or whatever, and she stumbled off the curb. And we wouldn't have had the corroboration from a law enforcement officer at the scene who witnessed the whole thing. And I think it's interesting that they were kind of forced to come clean, and they didn't for 90 minutes, and then they didn't give the full story for another few hours.
Well, I think that's exactly right, and the evidence to support the contention you just made comes from all over the D.C. press corps, including Kate Snow at MSNBC, who pressured Robbie Mook about when he was apprised of her diagnosis of pneumonia, where they were for 90 minutes, where they kept the press in the dark, and they kind of gave a sort of mea culpa, criticisms from David Axelrod and others on the left because they did get caught and because it does look so bad. And the reason it looks so bad is because it was purposeful obfuscation that they thought they were going to get away with. I mean, this is not a conservative or Republican opinion. This is an opinion that's shared almost unanimously.
Well, you would kind of expect transparency, and I'm not saying that Donald Trump is the most transparent either. And there have been arguments made to me that, as far as medical records are concerned, when you go to get a life insurance policy, you can't just say, "Oh, my doctor says I'm fine." Give them your doctor.
Right.
They send an independent physician to check you out and take your blood and do all of that. So if you can't get a life insurance policy without having someone outside of your health circle come in, why can you run for president and just give people this is what my guy says, so I'm fine, when people are trusting to put you in the White House? Maybe we should have independent physicians examine presidential candidates and give independent analysis of their health, and both candidates, every candidate. I don't know. This is just an argument that's been made to me that seems to make sense.
Well, or at least have candidates hold themselves to the standard that McCain, that Bob Dole, that Bill Clinton held themselves to when they ran for president. If full disclosure is a fairly simple standard to abide if you want to, and Hillary certainly doesn't seem to want to, and Trump, as you say, with some respects as well, has not either. Rick Leventhal, senior correspondent for Fox News Channel. Rick, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
Thanks for having me on this morning, guys.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Your phone call's coming up. Did Hillary Clinton really have a body double? And if so, we'll take your body double jokes.
Yes. And suggestions for a Clinton body double or a Trump body double.
Oh, yeah.
Let's open it up.
Or a Dan Proft body double. Thank you. Weather forecast.
Charles Atlas.
Plenty of sunshine right now. Humid. We can't rule out a thunderstorm in spots this afternoon, a high of 81. Then tonight, a shower or thunderstorm. And for tomorrow, more rain in the morning. Otherwise, clouds breaking for some sun, less humid, a high of 72. Any high travel times? Here is the one and only Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Very high travel times. Westbound 8094 is a mess from I-65 to Indianapolis Boulevard thanks to road work in the two left lanes. The Kennedy now 50 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound an hour. There's a crash in Addison with injuries. The two right lanes are blocked. Eden's 30 minutes either way between Lake Cook and Montrose. The Eisenhower an hour and 10 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound 45 minutes. The Stevenson an hour and 20 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, up on 51 minutes. Ryan 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57 40 minutes. I-80 to the Merge, Bishop 422. Slow on the eastbound Adams Tollway. Randall to 31, 59 to 53. Very slow Arlington Heights Road to Lee. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Hey, no matter who wins the presidential race, this is the most unusual election in our lifetimes. One candidate is an egomaniacal, scandal-plagued celebrity who can't go a day without spouting falsehoods. The other is a reality TV star. Good grief. So laugh, don't cry by spending an evening with acclaimed author and humorist P.J. O'Rourke and Friends of Liberty from across America at the Heartland Institute's 32nd anniversary benefit dinner. For over 3 decades, the Heartland Institute has worked to advance free markets and individual liberty, and P.J. O'Rourke has kept America laughing while advancing these principles.
Freedom of speech is important. If you have anything to say, I checked on the internet. Nobody does.
Hear PJ's unique and hilarious perspective on the election of our lifetimes. Call 312-377-4000 or visit heartland.org. This can't miss event is September 15th in Palatine. That's 312-377-4000. Do it now.
Hiring people is probably the worst part of my job. It's such a hassle, the searching, the sorting through resumes. Most people don't have the right experience.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. Right from the start, you could tell it was going to make hiring a lot easier. One click and my job was posted to 100+ job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them. Thumbs up if I liked them, thumbs down if I didn't. No emails and attachments, printing up docs, phone calls, none of that.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I had the person we needed within 1 week. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Whether you're looking to fill one position or 20, find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 100+ job sites. ZipRecruiter, the fastest way to hire. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/work. That's ZipRecruiter.com/work. ZipRecruiter.com/work.
A couple years ago, I had a severe accident which disabled my right hand and caused chronic pain and complete suffering. It took many years before really we figured out exactly what it was or how to treat it. My whole goal was I did not want to be on high levels of pain medicine. After some time, I went to see Dr. Kenneth Candido to try to figure out the source of the pain and a solution and how to solve it. He listens. I'm going to cry because it's so real. I've been through so much, and he wants to help his patients, and he's there for me whenever I need him.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. I have a simple message for you. If you or someone you love or someone you know has chronic pain, contact us. Treating chronic pain issues is what we do. We can make it better. Get an appointment and let's talk. MyPainChicago.com, MyPainChicago.com. All the info is available at MyPainChicago.com. Let's make you pain-free.
AM 560, The Answer. Don't miss Freedom Summit Chicago 2016, October 29th at Itasca. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com.
Excuse me. What I was trying to say, I'm watching you right now on WLS TV. Charles Thomas interviewed you, and you coined the perfect term. Sometimes the cover-up is worse than the cough. Booyah.
It's just what I do. Don't make a big thing about it.
Okay.
All right.
I'm making a big thing.
All right.
I'm pulling that audio.
So who's your body double suggestion for Trump or Hillary? Or maybe one is the body double for the other.
Michael Moore for Donald Trump.
Oh, come
Well, they have the same hourglass shape, you know? And for Hillary...
I prefer the term Rubenesque.
Oh, excuse me. And for Hillary, I cede my time to Matt from Waterford, Wisconsin.
All right.
I don't want to steal his thunder. He's got a great idea.
All right, Matt, you're up.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
So when I saw that picture of her with those sunglasses and the face, which looked a little bit more full than what I can usually envision Hillary Clinton, I was thinking Penny Marshall.
Penny Marshall.
I Googled search Penny Marshall. Sorry.
You're making your children cry, Matt, by talking about Hillary Clinton.
Well, every time I talk about Hillary Clinton, my son gets fussy. But if you Google search the image and find a picture of her with those sunglasses and look at them side by side, it's pretty similar. So
I call them the hipster Brooklyn John Lennon glasses.
Thanks for the call, Matt. I was thinking more like Squiggy, if we were going to do that cast of Happy Days. Squiggy as a body.
Squeaky? Wasn't it Lenny and Squeaky, not Squiggy?
Squiggy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You say Squiggy, I say Squeaky. What can you do?
Squeaky? No, he wasn't a mouse. He was a man. Kevin in Northfield.
I got three points for you guys. 3 smell test questions. Are you there?
Yes.
First of all, would you, if you have pneumonia, go and hold and hug your little grandchildren?
Oh, absolutely. I had pneumonia and I didn't come near my kids, but I still went to work. That's how I am. I'm a true
Keep
American.
a mile away from them. You don't want to infect them.
Well,
right?
especially she's a newborn. I mean, that's the last thing you want to introduce to a newborn.
And oh, by the way, I mean, Robbie Mook said that the illness is spreading through the campaign staff.
Yeah, Mook had it.
Mook had it.
And so did
Say
2
it
other
right.
staffers.
Second question.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Every doctor is going to require a patient her age with pneumonia to go and get an X-ray.
Oh, yeah, you need a chest X-ray. Well,
okay.
She had bacterial
I got a
pneumonia.
third question that departs a little bit. This is for Dan. Dan.
Yes.
When Hillary's email on her personal server, part of which was business, part of which was personal, was sorted, by her people to decide if she's going to hand them in or if she's going to destroy them. Did the lawyers who looked through the confidential top secret, did they have security clearance? Did they have top secret clearance?
No, but that's true. They did not. But as counsel for the subject, I think that I don't think it's problematic if that's what you're suggesting. But thanks for the call, Kevin. Now, everyman, Mr. Deplorable from Flyover Country.
Yeah, good morning, Dan and Amy. This is Mr. Deplorable calling from Flyover Country.
I got it.
Listen, I got my basket with me, and it's full right now, but I took a moment to give you a call. You know what? I was wondering about Hillary's body double. I was wondering if maybe Bill gets off on the body double. I mean, we know he doesn't do anything with Hillary, but maybe he likes that body double.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Deplorable.
Okay,
Jane in Burr Ridge.
Hi. I would have Louise Fletcher, who played the nurse Ratchet.
Oh, Nurse Ratchet, sure.
That would be Hillary.
Thanks for the call, Jane. That's more of a personality double, and I would go with Faye Dunaway as Mommy Dearest.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Lately, it seems you're not feeling quite right, as if your body is working against you. Dr. Amy and Associates can help create a path to achieve optimal health. Experience personalized health care for your mind, body, and spirit at a practice that blends holistic and traditional medicine.
Dr. Amy has really helped me. After experiencing a divorce in my 50s, I wasn't sure how to handle the stress and changes I was about to encounter. I needed to find a new profession since my ex-husband and I had worked together at our own company, plus there were other challenges with our own grown kids, family, and friends. It was wonderful to have Dr. Amy's guidance through this difficult situation. She kept me on track and assured me I was thinking correctly. She made a very hard time easier, and I will forever be grateful. If you're going through some hard life struggles, I would highly recommend Dr. Amy and Associates.
Call Dr. Amy and Associates to experience a whole-person integrative approach to health and wellness. 630-980-1400 or visit dramyandassociates.com. Dr. Amy and Associates, empowering people, changing lives.
AM 560. The Answer.
Some more body double suggestions for Hillary. Kim Jong-un.
That's good.
Kathy Bates from Misery. Those were good.
Yeah, those are good. Well, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we're going to talk to Colonel Ralph Peters. What's the likelihood that Syrian ceasefire will hold? That's at 7:37.
And the NCAA hand slaps North Carolina. We'll explain how and why coming up. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
65 degrees outside, sunshine, and a direct answer to the question, what's happening in Syria? Syria is being accused at this moment of breaking the ceasefire brokered by the U.S. and Russia. The accusation comes from Turkey's foreign ministry. Turkey's military said earlier in the day it shelled 2 targets inside Syria after mortar rounds fell inside Turkey. Both presidential candidates say they'll be releasing more medical information about themselves. The promises from Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton come after the revelation that Clinton continued to campaign despite being diagnosed with pneumonia. The Democratic presidential candidate, however, says she's now feeling better.
I felt overheated. I decided that I did need to leave, and as soon as I got into the air-conditioned van, I cooled off, I got some water, and very quickly I felt better.
Former President Bill Clinton talking about his wife just moments ago on CBS, saying she did suffer from a medical episode.
Rarely, but on more than one occasion over the last many, many years, the same sort of things happened to her when she just got severely dehydrated.
Donald Trump went on the attack, slamming Clinton for calling his supporters a basket of deplorables, speaking in North Carolina.
My opponent slanders you as deplorable and irredeemable. I call you hardworking American patriots who love your country.
President Barack Obama hitting the campaign trail while an ailing Hillary Clinton stays home to rest. The president will rally Democrats in Pennsylvania. A special prosecutor looking into the Laquan McDonald police shooting wants a grand jury to hear evidence about how police handled that case. 2 firefighters recovering after a strip mall burns in a massive blaze on the west side last night around 7 p.m. Chicago sports, Cubs nearly got a no-hitter from Kyle Hendricks in a win over the Cardinals 4-1. White Sox smacked around the Indians 11-4. The news service of Subway. Try a hot, delicious Subway breakfast sandwich. Built just the way you want it. Try egg whites and cheese, Then add tomato or fresh spinach on toasted flatbread and customize it with another cheese or fresh veggies, steak or Black Forest ham, even jalapenos. Subway Sandwich Shop, fresh is what we do. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager warns of big changes if Hillary Clinton wins.
If Hillary Clinton wins, it will be a 50-50 question whether talk radio is suppressed or not. Because the Democrats have long wanted a fairness doctrine, meaning on radio, you have to have 50% conservative and 50% liberal. So that ends talk radio, the only active electronic medium that is conservative.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Half-price Wing Tuesdays now at B-Dubs. Any size order of traditional wings costs half as much, making Tuesdays twice as good. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. Valid at participating locations for a limited time.
Here's microbiologist Dr. Kim O'Neill talking about balance of nature.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. I don't take any supplementation, but I take Balance of Nature because I know, I've seen it in my lab, and I know that it works. I've seen the immune response increase, I've seen your DNA repair capacity increase, and I've seen DNA protection. And that, to me, as a scientist, rings so true, and it's only natural.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code CHICAGO.
The big Lake County Home Improvement Expo, a free home show that's open to the public, is coming to the Lake County Fairgrounds this weekend only. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen, bathroom, basement, or maybe get a new roof, flooring, windows, or siding, then this is the event for you. At this two-day expo, you'll meet local and national contractors displaying their products and services. Get new ideas, set up estimates, and talk directly with contractors, many of which are offering huge discounts. Maybe you need a new furnace, insulation, or just a handyman. You'll find everything you need under one roof. Increase the value of your home and bring your friends and family. Special announcement! Attend this free home show and get a free gift at the door. You heard it right, that's a free gift at the door. Remember, the Lake County Home Improvement Expo this weekend only at the Lake County Fairgrounds in Grays Lake. Get more information at homeshowevent.com. That's homeshowevent.com.
The following is a paid political announcement.
Growing up in Morris, Illinois, David Welter learned you can't complain if you sit on the sidelines. So he questioned his elected officials and their wasteful spending. When they wouldn't listen, David Welter ran for county board. Because voters trusted him, David Welter cut taxes and improved the credit rating in his area. Let David Welter work for you again in Springfield. To get Illinois back on track, he'll fight to eliminate wasteful spending while fully funding education. Support David Welter for state representative in the 75th District.
Paid for by friends of David A. Welter.
Barbecue grill ready? Check. Cooler packed and loaded? Check. Favorite jersey washed? Check. Lucky socks not washed? Check. Tickets good to go? Check. It's not even game day yet. But when it is, we'll be ready. On the Husky Sports Network.
Get ready for the home opener. Your NIU Huskies take on the San Diego Aztecs this Saturday afternoon at 2:30. Don't miss a minute of the action right here on AM 560, The Answer.
7:38 in our AM 560 traffic center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. We're seeing very heavy delays this morning on the northbound Veterans Memorial, slow from I-55 most of the way up to 290. 8094 westbound, still a mess from I-65 to Indianapolis Boulevard thanks to construction. Eden's 31 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 28. The Kennedy, an hour and 15 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound an hour and 5 minutes. The Eisenhower, an hour and a half. Thorndale to the post office outbound an hour and 22 minutes. The Stevenson is an hour and 20 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive outbound 51 41 minutes. The ride, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic service of Staples. Staples still has great deals on everything you need printed for your business. Now get 20% back in rewards on all color printing, brochures, flyers, even signs. Printed same or next date, ends October 29th. Exclusions apply. See store or staples.com for details. Staples, make more happen. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte. AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. A more humid day ahead. Clouds and sun this morning. Perhaps an afternoon thunderstorm in spots. High 81. Currently, we have 65. Next news coming up at 8. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, powered by Tandem HR and sponsored by Everett College Funding. Heard Sunday evenings at 6.
Hey, before you read about it on Facebook or Twitter, well, hear about it from your friends. Find out what today's big stories really mean with me, Sean Hannity, today at 2, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, that ceasefire in Syria was announced, and as Mike Scott just reported, that ceasefire in Syria has already been violated. At least that's the accusation from Turkey. So it doesn't seem like that's going well. John Kerry saying this ceasefire may be the last chance to save united Syria, but it could go south. Well, it seems like it's going south. But for more on this and other topics, including the 911 families legislation, the right to sue Saudi Arabia, we're joined by Fox News strategic analyst, Colonel Ralph Peters. Colonel Peters, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Hey, great to talk to you again, Dan.
So what about the ceasefire in Syria? What is the expectation of that producing any long-term peace?
Well, based upon the previous track record, it's very difficult to be optimistic. Now, clearly, a ceasefire that held would at least alleviate the tremendous individual suffering and group suffering, but it doesn't solve the problems. And it's so, when Kerry talks about the last chance to preserve a united Syria, I have two problems with that. One, this administration is always talking about last chances. It's a new, instead of red lines, it's now last chance, except it doesn't turn out to be the last chance. But the even greater concern I have is the utter lack of innovative thought, imagination, or even a sense of practical reality on the part of our diplomats, as exemplified by John Kerry. Why should it be the world's top priority to preserve a united Syria, or to preserve Syrian territorial unity? Syria is an artificial construct. Its borders were drawn by Europeans after Versailles for their own interest. You've got a Kurdish area in the northeast, Turkic Arab area in the north. You've got a heavy population of a Christian Arab minority along the coast. You got the Alawites in the south central area. You've got, of course, Damascus, which has always been traditionally a mixed city, though basically Arab. And the parts don't fit together. It's the same thing in Iraq. If you really were redrawing the boundaries based upon the population's desires and identities, the borders would look very different. So why on earth shouldn't our priority be, to the extent we should have a priority at all in shaping the future of this area, to help the locals reshape their boundaries in a more natural way that is less likely to cause future conflict?
So are you suggesting that we're taking the path of least resistance in Syria, and in doing so, we're doing the bidding of Putin and Assad?
Well, that's yet another point. Yeah, we're taking. It's not even the path of least resistance. It's the only path that Kerry and Obama can imagine, which is talk, take a firm position, and then compromise it. And essentially, the deal that came through is a gift to Putin. It's a gift to Assad. I mean, this ceasefire agreement does absolutely nothing to remove Assad. Remember when President Obama said, he could not possibly stay in office? Well, Assad's going to be there. As I've said for years, Assad will be there long after Obama's gone. It's a gift to Hezbollah. It's a gift to the Iranians. Now, who does it betray? It betrays our Kurdish allies. It betrays the freedom fighters, the ones we've been backing on the ground, because although it's a cessation of hostilities, what's happened in the past, when you've had these ceasefires, and by the way, there will always be slight violations. I don't worry about that violation of the first 24 hours. I want to know what it looks like 96 hours out. But these ceasefires have been used in the past by the Assad government and its allies, the Iranians, Hezbollah, to set themselves up for another offensive. And generally, when they will agree to a ceasefire after they've just had battlefield successes, so they can resupply, refit, and then attack again when they're ready. So what Kerry presents as a victory is absolutely delusional. It will briefly alleviate some humanitarian suffering. That's the best can be said of it. But Putin's won.
All right. I wanted to get to some breaking news that happened while most people were sleeping. Syria claims to have shot down a Israeli warplane and a drone. Was there any truth to that?
The honest answer is I don't know yet. We have to wait for confirmation. I'd say it's quite possible they shot down a drone. I'd be very surprised if they shot down an Israeli airplane over Syrian airspace. The Israelis are pretty good at evasion. If they did, there will be consequences for whoever did shoot down an Israeli aircraft. But again, it's a very dangerous, very volatile area. And again, another part of this Syria deal is we're going to be, if the ceasefire holds, we're going to share intelligence with the Russians. Well, I can guarantee you that'll be largely a one-way street, with us giving the Russians information and them giving us only selective data they want. They'll only give us targets they want us to hit. And so, again, it just stuns me. John Kerry, Amy, he has convinced himself that he's a master negotiator. Mm-hmm. And you look at the Iran deal, you look at this ceasefire, you look at previous agreements in Syria. This guy is the worst negotiator I can think of in my lifetime representing the United States. He's the kind of guy that would go into a car dealer and look at a car with a $15,000 sticker price and offer to pay the dealer $75,000 for it. I mean,
and take the rust proofing. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just well, he would ask him to throw in the floor match. But it's just stunning how bad this guy is. And Obama lives in such a bubble at this point. He's just so anxious. I mean, he's in the military. We used to call retired on active duty, ROAD. He's really essentially given up. He just wants to make it through to Inauguration Day without any major hiccups and major embarrassments.
Well, you mentioned Iran, and our new partner in peace there threatened to shoot down 2 U.S. Navy surveillance aircraft flying close to the territory in the Persian Gulf over the weekend. This is the latest in a number of tense moments between our partner in peace and the U.S. military. How is that going, our new partnership?
Yeah, well, the Iran nuke deal was supposed to provide peace in the Persian Gulf in our time, and it obviously hasn't done so. It's given Iran license to run wild throughout the Middle East, as they have done, because the Iranians realize full well that there is absolutely no way that Obama will do anything to jeopardize the nuke deal, his great legacy deal. So they do what they want in Iraq, they do what they want in Syria, and they're doing essentially what they want in the Persian Gulf. And the core government in Tehran does not want a direct violent confrontation with the United States. But the Revolutionary Guards, who are essentially a shadow government, have their own interests, and they don't even like the nuke deal as advantageous as it was to Iran. And the chances are good that the Revolutionary Guards will provoke a situation, a violent situation. Now, there are 2 possibilities. One is that they would actually try to shoot down a U.S. aircraft, which, counting on Obama not to respond, and the chances are very good that Obama would not respond with force. The other thing they've been trying to do, though, is with those little, fast boat swirling around our destroyers and even carriers and our patrol boats in the Gulf, they're trying to set up a situation where we shoot first. So we're the bad guys, and then they can retaliate and sink a small American vessel, which would play very well domestically for their home audience, but also regionally. The goal, you have to think in terms of not the daily or weekly goals, but the ultimate goal of Iran. A goal they share with Vladimir Putin is to drive the United States out of the upper Middle East, out of Syria, Iraq, the Persian Gulf. And they're well on their way to doing that. I mean, our ships continue to patrol the Persian Gulf, but the rules of our engagement are such that essentially, if the Iranians did decide that they decided to shoot first, we're sitting duck targets. It's like a shooting gallery at a state fair.
We're talking to Fox News strategic analyst Colonel Ralph Peters. I wanted to get your take on the Justice Against Sponsors of Terrorism Act, or JASTA. This flew through Congress, huge bipartisan majorities. President Obama has indicated he is going to veto it. This would allow, for example, 9/11 families, somebody killed in the 9/11 attack, to sue Saudi Arabia civilly. And President Obama is going to veto it. But you've also heard from some on the right, including John Bolton, former U.S. ambassador to the UN, and former Bush Attorney General John Mukasey, say he should veto it, that this would do more harm than good. It would not hold state sponsors of terror responsible as the proponents think. What's your take on it?
Well, this is one of those questions where there's no easy answer, and I can argue both sides. Certainly, the Saudis are villains. All of the Sunni terrorist movements we've seen, Al Qaeda, ISIS, Jabhat al-Nusra, which is now Jabhat al-Sham, I suppose, the Taliban, Boko Haram, Al-Shabaab, the various splinter movements throughout the greater Middle East, they have all been inspired by the Saudi Wahhabi approach to Islam, this radical Salafist theory that the Saudis have spent generations now exporting, using their money, their oil profits, to impose their pre-medieval, primitive, hate-filled, misogynistic version of Islam on the rest of the world. So, the Saudis have been called, the arsonists and the fire brigade. No, they're just the arsonists. Now, the Iranians are Shia. That's a different problem. But all of these Sunni terrorist movements, all of them, can be traced back to the Saudi version of Islam, Saudi money, Saudi influence. And it continues to this day.
And so, a civil remedy, if you had to make a call, what do you say?
Yeah, well, you get me on the Saudis, and I just go off the rails. But ultimately, Mike, I think John Bolton and others are right in the sense that what this does do, it would open up the door for all sorts of frivolous lawsuits against the United States. With people in Iraq that we were trying to help, claiming, "Oh no, you killed my donkey, you owe me $10 billion," and I think it would open the door to fruitless, destructive, expensive litigation. So I don't want to let the Saudis off the hook, but there are other ways to punish them.
Okay.
And, so that's all I can say.
All right, Colonel Ralph Peters, Fox News strategic analyst. Colonel Peters, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Sunshine right now, a few high wispy clouds, but we can't rule out a thunderstorm in spots this afternoon. There's a 20% chance of that happening. A high of 81 degrees. Tonight, a shower or thunderstorm around, and tomorrow morning you'll be greeted with showers in the area in the morning. Otherwise, some partly sunny skies by the afternoon, a lot less humid, a high of 72. Any high travel times? My favorite thing to say. Here's Jim Delamonte with the answer.
Amy, high and then some. It's just terrible almost everywhere. The worst, westbound 8094 from I-65 to Indianapolis Boulevard with roadwork in the two left lanes. Eastbound I-80 from Wolf Road to 183rd due to a crash in the center median. I'm Jim Delamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Hey, have you waited to buy a MyPillow? Well, if you have, you're in luck. For this month only, when you buy one premium MyPillow, you still get that second one for free, but you also receive 2 additional Go Anywhere MyPillows. So you're actually getting 4 pillows for the price of 1. It's their best offer ever. And nearly every AM 560 host endorses MyPillow because it is the best. The National Sleep Foundation agrees because they made it their official pillow. It's washable to remove all the ickies that cause allergies, acne, and asthma. So it's a health investment, and you'll sleep better, I guarantee it. If not, you have a 60-day full money-back guarantee. Nothing to lose here, folks. So visit MyPillow.com. Click the radio listener special tab and use the promo code Amy. You'll get 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere pillows, all for the price of 1. Or call 800-489-0201. Mention the radio listener special and use the promo code Amy. That's MyPillow.com or 800-489-0201.
If you're serious about selling your home, now's the time. Supply is low, and it's a great seller's market in many Chicagoland neighborhoods. Now, I've done the research, and along with my Salem radio colleagues, Dennis Prager and Michael Medved, we all recommend that you call Saul. Saul Z and the Z team are so good that if they don't sell your home in 59 days, they'll sell it for free, guaranteed. Saul is ranked 106th out of 1.2 million agents by the Wall Street Journal. His proven marketing system is so effective that he sells on average a home every single day, attracting multiple full-price offers. Now, that demand helps sell your home fast at the highest price. It's a no-brainer. If I was selling a home in Chicagoland, I'd definitely call Saul. 888-346-0666 or call Saul, SAUL.net. Call Saul.net or 888-346-0666. You'd better call Saul.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
And now, a moment of objectivism with your Ron Brook and the Ayn Rand Institute.
Have you ever heard the phrase, money is the root of all evil? Philosopher Ayn Rand had the opposite view. She argued that money is the root of all good. She stood up for the value of money because, in her words, wealth is the product of man's intellect. Today's standard of living with our computers, cell phones, and life-saving medicines far outstrips the wildest dreams of the past. All this wealth had to be created by individuals, and money is what enables production. Money is your means of survival, a character in Ayn Rand's most famous novel, Atlas Shrugged, warns. The verdict you pronounce upon the source of your livelihood is the verdict you pronounce upon your life. From the Ayn Rand Institute, I'm your Ron Brook.
This has been a moment of objectivism from the Ayn Rand Institute. To learn more, listen to the Yaron Brooks Show, Saturdays at 4 on AM 560, and visit ariradio.com.
Why are Ayn Rand's ideas so compelling? Her worldview, her philosophy, expressed dramatically in her novels Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead, embodies the ideals stated by the Founding Fathers in the Declaration of Independence and sets forth the requirements necessary to achieve a flourishing life. She called her philosophy objectivism and said it was a philosophy for living on Earth. Today, decades after her death, objectivism continues to stir debate and inspire passion for the spirit of individualism and the enduring American dream.
Here's David Kolsak, president of Turnkey IT, on how they do business differently.
It's been 20 years, and the business has changed probably 40 times in 20 years because technology changes every year, and you have to stay with it. You have to know where it's going and prognosticate where that is, and our clients really benefit from our knowledge and our experience and the way that we're reading the roadmap. We're putting them on things that are coming out in the future, and if it's not beneficial to the client, we won't be putting them on there. And a lot of people just fly by the seat of their pants. You know, we have a director of information technology that his job is only to scout new technologies and how they can affect a small business. Every business, no matter if it's a funeral home, a manufacturer, a car dealer, whatever, we all rely on our information, and when that information isn't available, your business is shot. So our main purpose is to really do our very best to keep people up 100% of the time, to keep them backed up and make sure that they can do what they do, and we can deal with the technical stuff.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros at Turnkey so you can focus on the important things of your business. Visit turnkey.pro today.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing, independently owned business bank. Signature Bank listens to your story, learns about your business, and sticks with their customers. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Mick O'Rourke, co-founder, president, and CEO of Signature Bank. We founded Signature Bank in 2006 with one goal: to serve as Chicago's business bank. Now, 10 years later, we've seen that vision turn into a reality. We'd like to help your business realize all of its potential. My co-founders and I have many years of experience in commercial banking. When we learn about your business, we sit down across the table from you. When you have concerns, we pick up the phone to talk them through. We know your name and your story. At Signature Bank, when we make a commitment, we deliver.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The NCAA pulls out of North Carolina because of their gender-specific bathrooms, but won't eliminate gender-specific sports at 8:08.
And rejoice, a local cat killer goes to jail. But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Fire destroys a West Side Strip mall. Sunshine this morning. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. She's trying to turn the tables.
Donald Trump's doctor said he'd be the healthiest president in history. That's just not even serious.
Both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump will release more medical records soon. He'll be giving details from his recent physical on Thursday while she tries to brush off her dizzy spell and pneumonia. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave Clinton told CNN she's been more candid about her health information than Trump has about his.
You've got a medical report on me that meets the same standard as Mitt Romney and Barack Obama.
Trump is going on Dr. Oz on Thursday to release results of recent medical tests and to talk about his health regimen. Clinton says she wishes she'd followed her doctor's advice last week to take time off. She's doing that now, resting at home in New York while her husband campaigns in her place. Dave.
Well, Rachel, Trump keeps hitting Clinton from attacking many of his supporters as deplorables.
As a black female American, I say let's get out and support Donald Trump.
She was among those the Republican called on stage yesterday in North Carolina, calling them wonderful people. He'll be in Iowa today. House Republicans probing Clinton's emails while Secretary of State holding another hearing next hour, the day after this.
You can accept service on behalf of the FBI? Certainly. You are hereby served.
Committee Chair Jason Chaffetz subpoenaed an FBI assistant director in the middle of a hearing to get the full FBI file on its investigation. Now today, 3 workers who set up or maintained Clinton's private server will appear. One refused to testify at a prior Benghazi hearing. The U.S. shows off its military might. Those were 2 nuclear-capable fighter jets doing a flyover of South Korea, 75 miles from the border, days after North Korea's latest nuclear test. 3 Syrian men are under arrest in Germany, believed to have been sent there by ISIS. It's also believed they got the same smuggling and passport help as the Paris attackers. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Skies are sunny right now, 66 degrees, winds out of the north at 6 miles an hour. It's 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. A special prosecutor looking into the Laquan McDonald police shooting now wants a grand jury to hear evidence about how police handled that case. Prosecutor Patricia Holmes says a grand jury is the fairest way to determine if charges are warranted against officers suspected of trying to cover up the 2014 shooting of the 17-year-old. 2 firefighters are recovering, hospitalized after a strip mall went up in flames. Witnesses say it happened at the Family Dollar in the West Side's East Garfield Park neighborhood around 7 last night. Attorneys for a man expected in court to begin a murder case today will argue that he was insane in 2014 when an Island Lake woman was stabbed to death. 52-year-old Howard Dibburn is accused in the death of 48-year-old Karen Scavelli in her home and then stealing her car. Kyle Hendricks took a no-hitter into the 9th inning. Cubs beat the Cardinals 4-1. White Sox routed the Indians 11-4. Monday Night Football, Steelers and San Francisco 49ers were winners as Week 1 of the NFL season drew to a close. The news service of Unbound, a more peaceful, healthy world happens one person at a time. Around the globe, there are children who dream of helping their families, who hope for the future, and who have a name. Know the person you are helping directly at unbound.org. It's 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network and the service of Turnkey.pro, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, stock futures are lower. There are new concerns about the global economy after the International Energy Agency lowered its forecast for the year. The agency says India and China will not be using as much oil as previously estimated. Fed Governor Lael Brainerd yesterday calmed concerns about the Fed raising interest rates this month, though J.P. Morgan Chase Chairman Jamie Dimon says the Fed should raise interest rates sooner rather than later. Pandora is stepping up its relationship with music providers. It has announced licensing agreements with Sony Music, Universal Music Group, and other independent labels and distributors. And Under Armour is showing its new clothing line at New York Fashion Week. Its designs come with high-tech finishes. The Dow closed up 239 points yesterday, the Nasdaq up 85, and the S&P gained 31. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity finds Trump's approach refreshing.
Donald Trump is a risk taker. Donald Trump is not afraid to speak his mind. Donald Trump, showed that you can take a position of strength and take a risk and stand on your position. And lo and behold, instead of making an apology tour like Obama, other countries will respect your strength. He's willing to say what needs to be said. It's actually refreshing.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
Are you a responsible person who finds yourself growing deeper in credit card debt? Then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity Debt Management will consolidate your accounts and work with your creditors. You'll save thousands and become debt-free for keeps. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Call Trinity at 1-800-758-5360. 1-800-758-5360. 1-800-758-5360.
Focus. You need it to run a business, so don't let legal questions distract you. Use LegalZoom instead. Things like lease agreements and employment laws get complicated, but they're part of running a business. That's why LegalZoom built a network of independent attorneys in 48 states. You can rely on them for the legal details without paying by the hour, since LegalZoom isn't a law firm. So focus on growing your business and use LegalZoom for the legal stuff. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
This is an alert. If your business or church is building this year, you're about to pay more than you should. This could mean thousands of dollars more for your office, retail space, church, or warehouse. A General Steel building can save you as much as half the cost and time of similar conventional construction. And we're offering rebates of up to $20,000 to help you build today. Call General Steel for free information that could save you thousands. Call 800-98-STEEL. 800-98-STEEL. That's 800-987-8335.
8:06. Let's get an update on the roads at our AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The inbound Kennedy is heavy all the way in. It's an hour and 20 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Heavier in the express lanes right now. Outbound 48 minutes. Eden's 31 minutes. Lake Hook to the junction. Outbound 40. The Eisenhower's an hour and 35 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. An hour 14 from Manheim. Outbound 46 minutes to Manheim. An hour 20 to Thorndale. Stevenson an hour and a half. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 51 minutes. Ryan 30 minutes. 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound slow 132 to 176. Northbound 111th most of the way to 31st and Roosevelt to Grand. Adams, Reagan, Veterans Memorial all very heavy. Eastbound I-80 jammed solid Wolf to 183rd with a crash. Westbound 8094 just a mess from I-65 to Indianapolis Boulevard with roadwork in the two left lanes. And northbound I-65 is slow from Ridge to 8094. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Here's our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, more humid with clouds and sun, with a shower or thunderstorm in spots for the afternoon. High 82. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a shower or thunderstorm around, low 63. A morning shower in spots, then some sun tomorrow, high 72. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
67 at O'Hare, 68 along the lakefront. Next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Health Quest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. Health Quest Radio is heard Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome to your Tuesday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Speaking to wealthy donors, Hillary Clinton called tens of millions of Americans deplorable.
She divides people into baskets as though they were objects, not human beings.
I'm feeling so much better. Like a lot of people, I just thought I could keep going forward and power through it, and obviously that didn't work out so well.
Did the staff not know that she had pneumonia on Friday? Am I right in reading that from what you're saying?
All I'm saying is I just would hope that you drill in with the same detail with his team as you're drilling in with ours.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. The number 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 646-360-A, turnkey.pro text line. The question is, do you agree with the NCAA pulling 7 championship events out of the state of North Carolina, including the first 2 rounds of the men's basketball tournament in 2017 because of the law in North Carolina that makes women use the women's restroom and men use the men's restroom.
Ugh. How could they do that? So sexist.
North Carolina, you mean?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kidding, too. I'm a little bit of a traditionalist. I like to go into my washroom knowing that nothing else is going to be in my washroom besides fellow females.
Yes.
Maybe a small child, maybe, to be with a mom, but that's about it.
Well, you have to remember that the NCAA is comprised of schools like the University of Massachusetts at Amherst, which has banned Harambe jokes on campus.
Oh, they were in full swing in Iowa City this weekend. You had Cyclone fans holding a sign saying Herky killed Harambe.
Right.
And then they put R.I.P. and they put his birthday to, and then they put Iowa State killed Harambe. And it was a big joke. Everyone had those T-shirts on or were holding up signs.
Those are all microaggressions, and you will be subjected to NCAA sanction.
Herky was already in hot water.
They're going to make the NCAA is going to make you turn in your bib, your Hawkeye bib.
Those are called game day bibs.
Yeah.
And they're hot. You're just jealous because you don't have any.
It's true.
I mean, they're so ugly, they're cute. Just admit it. But anyway.
University of Massachusetts Amherst.
Yes.
See, the problem is there. Harambe the gorilla shares a name with Harambe. So it doesn't actually share a name because it's a different name and it's spelled differently. But Harambe African Heritage Student Community. So because the names are similar, all jokes related to Harambe, like jokes about Cecil the lion fighting Harambe in heaven, are per se offensive to black students and must be banned.
So that's a microaggression.
Ben Shapiro makes a good point. That's somewhat like saying all jokes about Anthony Weiner must be banned at the University of Maryland in order to avoid offending the students at the Norbert Wiener Center for Harmonic Analysis and Application. It's pretty good.
I love Ben. That's great.
Everyone loves Harambe. Shapiro writes, so would Harambe jokes offend female students? The more immature Harambe memesters have utilized the phrase blanks out for Harambe, a bizarrely silly bit of blue hilarity that calls on Americans to signal their support for Harambe by exposing their genitals.
Okay. We'll be right back.
Well, I think that's how Harambe would like to be remembered.
I think so too.
Don't you? I think it's a nice tribute to Harambe. So that's what you're talking about when you're talking about the deep thinkers that comprise the board of mystics that lord over the NCAA and made this decision. Now, let me tell you, here's one woman who can come into the men's bathroom anytime she wants because she's got more stones than all of these effete cake eaters on the board of the NCAA. Listen to this. Republican Party spokeswoman Cami Mueller. Mm-hmm. Listen to this statement. This is about the best statement on a topic I've ever read, especially given the target, and it's such a richly deserved dressing down of the NCAA. She's going to get an honorary Y chromosome for this statement.
Okay.
Are you ready for it?
All right. She gets a bathroom pass in the men's room.
That's
yes.
right. This is so absurd, it's almost comical. I genuinely look forward to the NCAA merging all men's and women's teams together as a singular, unified, unisex teams. Under the NCAA's logic, colleges should make cheerleaders and football players share bathrooms, showers, and hotel rooms. This decision is an assault to female athletes across the nation. If you're unwilling to have women's bathrooms and locker rooms, how do you have a women's team? Yep, that's a question I've been asking for a couple of years now. I wish the NCAA was this concerned about the women who were raped at Baylor. Ouch.
Oh.
Perhaps the NCAA should stop with their political peacocking and instead focus their energies on making sure our nation's collegiate athletes are safe both on and off the field. Mic drop. Cammie Mueller has left the podium.
That's amazing.
That is spot on.
But I mean, how much more can they take? They lost the NBA championship game. Several concerts, including
All-Star game.
All-Star game. Bruce Springsteen, other concerts,
Oh, no.
conventions, and millions of dollars in revenue have pulled out. And now the NCAA tournament. In places like Greensboro, North Carolina, they needed the revenue. I mean, it's a joke. Aren't we all in this together? States have rights.
They want us to be all in
States
this
have
together.
rights. And they should be able to choose what they want and don't want to have in the bathroom.
But she asked the operative question,
Yes.
which is if there is no such thing as gender for the purposes of facilities usage, how can we not integrate collegiate sports? No women's sports, no men's sports. You just have sports.
Right. No men's locker room, no women's locker room. Just locker rooms.
But they're on board for the locker rooms. They're not on board for the sports.
No, they're not.
And so why is that?
Because
I'm
they make more money
confused.
when men play because they're better at basketball and football than women.
Yeah, well, but that's
all right because we play a different kind of game. We like to shoot inside the lane.
in football.
No, in basketball.
Oh yeah.
In football, no, women don't. I mean, some women play football.
They do?
They're normally kickers, but not nose guards or long snappers. They're normally punters.
Yeah, but I mean,
special teams.
Don't you think we should break down those barriers? Don't you think we should tear down those walls that divide? I mean, we're just talking.
I know, but I'm all about equality. But I don't want to
silly Y
watch
chromosome.
women play football. I like watching men play football.
Well, isn't that sexist?
Probably, yes.
Well,
I'm now a sexist, bleeding heart Republican.
But for basketball, do you like to watch women play basketball?
I do.
Do you like to watch women play volleyball?
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Well, then why should? But okay, so why should?
I don't want to watch men play volleyball. I like watching women's volleyball.
But shouldn't there just be one team?
No, not.
What about women's? What about basketball?
There should be a women's team and a men's team.
Why?
Because we have the WNBA and then we have the NBA.
Why should there be? Again, it's the same thing. The NBA All-Star Game, they moved it out of North Carolina. Why is there a WNBA and an NBA? I want to see Brittany Griner, go up against I don't know, Lamar Aldridge in the paint, or
How long do you think that would last? See, that would be boring because that would be called a smackdown.
Well,
and then she might die, and then he'd be arrested for involuntary manslaughter. I mean, that's where this is going.
What about Brittany Griner against Dwight Howard? What? Why? I mean, they're both centers.
Yeah.
Right? They're equal.
There's a little bit of difference in their physique.
Well, then you just make it so that,
he plays with one hand tied behind his
he's
back.
not allowed to guard it. Then you just change. This is like what we do and say. Then you just change the rules. You change how Dwight Howard is allowed to play to give Brittany Griner an equal opportunity. Oh, I mean, an equal outcome. So you if she misses a shot, then then you just count it. He's not allowed to shoot. How about that?
Do you know what we're doing?
He has to shoot from 25 feet out.
All this feel-good, yuckety-yuck legislation, and just because of what it feels right, because we don't want to offend people. In CPS this year, hopefully I can still keep my coaching job, but there are no cuts. No one can be cut at the elementary level in Chicago Public School sports. So if you have 70 people, which that's what there's rumblings of girls trying out for the volleyball team, all 70 of them have to make the team. So there goes our fan base because everyone's going to be on this. There's not even enough room on the sidelines to accommodate that many girls. And they're not going to see any playing time because it's too many. You can't, there's not enough time in a game.
I have a question, though. Does Blaine allow for Ding Dongs Out for Harambe as a tribute?
I don't. I mean, the kids know who Harambe is. They haven't seen a T-shirt.
You should probably ask. Lee in Hammond, Indiana. You're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
How you doing, guys?
Hey.
You know, years ago we used to go out and have picnics and softball games. You know, the wives, the guys, the kids.
Yeah.
Why not just extrapolate that out to the NCAA?
Yeah.
I mean, anybody out of the stands, if you want to play, come on down and play.
That's how it's going to be.
Exactly. Thanks
That
for
it
that.
is.
A lot more fun, I'll tell you.
You know, actually, Lee, that calls to mind thanks for the call. That calls to mind one of the best moments in NBA history. This is Frank Layden when he owned the Utah Jazz.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a Bill Veeck owner. He's like one of these great, colorful owners. And he was so upset by the way the Jazz were playing. In a timeout, he took a guy in street clothes out of the stands and he put him out on the court with the other four
Did
players.
he really?
It was hysterical. But I like that. Lee's the point. Why not take the kind of social picnic approach to all sports, including professional sports, not just men and women, children of all ages. Yeah, anybody who wants to come out of the stands. I mean, not that anybody would be in the stands if we did this, but that's the point. Anybody who wants to come out of the stands and just play for the White Sox. I mean, you couldn't do worse. Play for the Bears, you know, do a few series at quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't do worse. What about that? I mean, why not? This is honestly what has to happen, because the only way there will be consequences to this is if you force the logical conclusion on the NCAA and the professional sports leagues, take away their antitrust protection, to hold them to the same non-discriminatory strictures that you hold a baker or a wedding photographer to, and make them feel the pain by destroying sport. That's what has to happen. That's the only way I think you're actually going to have it resonate with the American people. Destroy sports, professional and college alone. And all you have to do is take what we're doing in every other sector of society and apply it to sports. And then we'll see.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up.
Whip it out for Harambe.
Okay, or that. Or your forecast. Plenty of sunshine right now. It's going to be hot and humid today, so enjoy it, because things are going to change around here, if you know what I mean. A high today of 81 degrees and a thunderstorm likely in spots this afternoon. Anything changing on the roadways with those travel times? Here's Jim Telemonte.
Amy, it's still really bad on westbound 8094 from I-65 to Indianapolis Boulevard, thanks to morning road construction and the two left lanes. Eastbound I-80 is jammed. Wolf to 183rd with a crash in the median. Westbound slow from the Tri-State to 183rd. The Edens is 31 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 40. The Kennedy, an hour and 20 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound 48 minutes. The Eisenhower's an hour and 35 minutes from Thorndale to the Loop. An hour 14 from Manheim. Outbound an hour 15 to Thorndale. Stevenson an hour and a half. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 51 minutes. The Ryan 30 minutes. 95th to downtown. Tollway still heavy. They're starting to improve though. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560 Traffic Center.
If you could quickly and painlessly clear your psoriasis or vitiligo, would you?
No matter how big the psoriasis is, no matter how small the psoriasis, we can help you.
Ashley is a clinical
Would you have advised her to take a couple days?
in-office
Yeah,
treatment.
but did the staff not know that she had pneumonia on?
Immediate results with up to 95%.
But did the staff not know that she had pneumonia on Friday? Am I right in reading that from what you're saying?
All I'm saying is I just would hope that you drill in with the same detail with his team as you're drilling in with ours. We released the information as soon as we could when this happened on Sunday. I wish it had happened quicker than 90 minutes. Again, we were.
You find a doctor close by.
I love what I do. I love coming in every
I don't want Hillary to win, but I want her to be healthy. The other problem Hillary has goes to the larger problem she has as a candidate, which is people don't trust her because she's dishonest about everything. So in this case, the cover-up is always worse than the cough.
54 or visit xtracradio.com. Qualified patients, certain restrictions apply.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing, independently owned business bank. Signature Bank listens to your story, learns about your business, and sticks with their customers. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Kevin Bastuga, co-founder of Signature Bank. As native Chicagoans, my partners and I know this city, its economy, and the challenges that small businesses face. We like to think of Signature Bank as your hometown bank. Chicagoans helping Chicagoans. We understand that banking is ultimately about people, and we build long-term, lasting relationships with our customers. We stand by our customers, and our customers stand by us, and we welcome new customers every day. We look forward to welcoming you and your business into the Signature Bank family.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. Learn more about turning your business vision into reality. Visit signature-bank.com. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
I've been taking the Balance of Nature fruits and veggie capsules for many years. What hooked me was something I wasn't expecting. I was playing golf with one of my friends, and midway through the round, he looks over at me and says, "What's going on here? You're killing me. Did you get new clubs or something?" It dawned on me that the only thing I'm doing different is taking Balance of Nature. I've been a 15 handicap golfer for a long time. 3 months after I started taking the fruits and veggies, I started dropping strokes off my handicap. Even my sons noticed I was playing better. I told them, when I started getting enough fruits and veggies in my diet, I felt better. Better concentration, better swing. When you feel better, you play better.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, Jennifer Granholm, the former governor of Michigan, how the heck did that happen? She is a lunatic. She tweeted yesterday, to press lamenting Hillary Clinton's health transparency powering through. Illness is what women do.
Oh, my.
Wait
Did
for
she
it.
really say that?
Wait for it. Stoically, every period, single period, day period. It's just what women do every single day in this country. That's Jennifer Granholm and other among the ridiculous responses to Hillary's lying and
no, she said she wasn't lying.
And furtiveness, maybe to be euphemistic about it, but allies on the left, the David Axelrod, former DNC chairman, all upset with Hillary for creating this controversy and legitimizing questions that were being given the back of the hand treatment up until Sunday about her health.
She didn't, she told Anderson Cooper she didn't think it was a big deal, that pneumonia wasn't a big deal, and she wanted to, power through. Girl power.
Oh, yeah.
And when,
Spice Girl.
No. But and Anderson Cooper last night asked her, he said, why weren't you being transparent? This is, you said you're going to have transparency, and she kind of scolded him.
Oh, my goodness, Anderson. Compare everything you know about me with my opponent. I think it's time he met the same level of disclosure that I have for years. You've got a medical report on me that meets the same standard as Mitt Romney and Barack Obama.
Is that true?
Donald Trump's doctor said he'd be the healthiest president in history. That's just not even serious.
Well, what do we know about Donald Trump's health? He takes 1 aspirin a day, I read, and he takes Lipitor, and he has low blood pressure. That's all we know. Well, and we'll find out more on Thursday when he goes on Dr. Oz.
All right. He's supposed to disclose the results of recent physical he has. Look, it's very simple. All the standards back and forth. Do what John McCain did. Do what your husband did. Make your doctors available to the press. Provide a room where members of the media can go to look at your complete health records and ask any questions they want and be done with it.
But I don't think she's doing that because she doesn't want to appear weak. Because if you're sick, you're weak, and then you can't be president. No. I'm just conjecture on my part.
Well, I mean, I think she just is opaque as a matter of course, and she lies as a matter of course because she wants to be opaque. So, this is why 70% of the public rightly thinks she's untrustworthy, because she is.
Well, one great man yesterday I heard on ABC7.
Great man.
And he coined it beautifully. Listen.
I don't want Hillary to win, but I want her to be healthy. The other problem Hillary has goes to the larger problem she has as a candidate, which is people don't trust her because she's dishonest about everything. So in this case, the cover-up is always worse than the cough.
Oh, that's excellent. That is one of the greatest bits of analysis I've heard in the almanac of American political history.
Is there a jazz band playing behind you?
Did
you hear that? Or a trumpet? I mean, does a trumpet or a trombonist follow you wherever you go?
Yeah, I have a jazz band that follows me, plays my theme music. It's just like I'm going to get you, sucker. I have a theme song, and then people follow me playing
I have to hear it again.
I don't want Hillary to win, but I want her to be healthy. The other problem Hillary has goes to the larger problem she has as a candidate, which is people don't trust her because she's dishonest about everything. So in this case, the cover-up is always worse than the cough.
Yeah, they play God Save the Queen. That's my theme music.
That's awesome.
Here is a helpful step-by-step guide to defending every Clinton scandal. Yes. This comes to us from David Harsanyi. I'll tweet it at Dan Proft for your perusal, but use this with your liberal friends. I mean, it's almost like you could do a script. Here, do you want to be the Republican or the Democrat?
I'd love to be the Democrat.
Okay, all
Because
right.
everybody thinks I am one,
All
but
right.
I don't have a copy in front of me.
So
I can't play your little reindeer games. But you just do it yourself.
All right, I'll do your part.
Okay.
Republican, Hillary looks sick. Democrat, conspiracy theorist. That's me doing your voice.
Conspiracy theorist?
A Republican, she's coughing all the time. Democrat, conspiracy theorist. Republican, Hillary just passed out. Democrat, she has allergies and some heat exhaustion. It's one of the hottest days ever. Republican, it was 77 and breezy. Democrat, are you suggesting that women have a different, weaker physiology than men? Republican, no, I'm suggesting maybe she's sicker than we think. Democrat, misogynist. The campaign says she has a little walking pneumonia. Now we know. Republican, why not say that in the first place? Democrat, she's a warrior. Am I right? Republican, so this 7-year-old lady ill with a contagious sickness is hugging little girls and attending fundraisers. Democrat.
I'll be the Democrat.
Oh, you got it now.
Yeah, she's 69 in 7 months, you liar. She's a hero to elderly women.
Is she contagious?
Of course not.
If it's no big deal, why is she canceling campaign events?
Actually, this dangerous, contagious sickness has infected a bunch of senior staffers who now may die. That's how bad it is.
Seems serious. If Hillary lied about this, is it possible she's lying again?
Conspiracy theorists.
And scene.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
If you're aged 59 and a half or older with the 401k plan and still working, stop what you're doing and call Arlington Capital Management at 855-471-5796. They'll help you actively manage your 401k, show you strategies to avoid major declines, and capitalize on opportunities. There are benefits with age, and this is one of them. At 59 and a half, you're entitled to new opportunities in the investment world that can dramatically improve your results and even lower your fees. Call 855-471-5796 now and take the first step toward getting more out of your retirement assets. The team at Arlington Capital Management proactively explores the market, our economy, and all of the variables that offset your investments. Call 855-471-5796 now for a complimentary consultation. That's 855-471-5796 or visit arlington-capital.com. You worked hard to accumulate your nest egg. Now, it's time to put your money to work for you.
Guys, when it comes to your health, do you know your numbers? You may know your blood pressure and cholesterol, but do you know your testosterone number? I know my number. Low T made it easy. I went to the Low T Center and took a simple blood test, and with their on-site lab, I was able to get my results in minutes. If you're a man over 40 and have noticed a decline in energy, stamina, or libido, you may have low testosterone. Low T levels make you feel tired and grumpy, can raise your cholesterol, and even cause weight gain. And in honor of Prostate Health Month, Low T Center is offering a $50 testosterone and prostate level test. So, guys, if you don't know your numbers, haven't met your deductible, or don't have insurance, you should take advantage of this offer. It's quick, easy, and you'll get your results in about 20 minutes. So do yourself a favor and call 630-409-4305. Tell them Dan Proft sent you. That number is 630-409-4305. Or visit them online at lowtcenter.com.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, meet the Deplorables. They were on stage with Donald Trump. And then later, a local cat killer goes to jail. There's justice for our feline friends. But first, back into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, 68 degrees. Syria being accused of breaking the young ceasefire brokered by the U.S. and Russia. Turkey's military said earlier in the day it shelled 2 targets inside Syria after mortar rounds fell inside Turkey. The U.S. has sent 2 nuclear-capable supersonic bombers streaking over allied South Korea. Today's show of force. meant to cow North Korea after its recent nuclear testing and settle the nerves of the South. The NCAA will not be holding 7 championship events in North Carolina in response, they say, to the state's so-called bathroom law. The first event being taken from the state is the Division I Women's Soccer Championship, the first weekend in December. Donald Trump reportedly plans to release results of a physical exam this week on the syndicated Dr. Oz television show. Wells Fargo getting rid of all of its retail banking sales goals. The bank announcing today will end goals that led to a $185 million fine by the federal government that resulted in the firing of more than 5,000 employees. A special prosecutor looking into the Laquan McDonald police shooting wants a grand jury to hear evidence about how police handled the case. Prosecutor Patricia Holmes says a grand jury is the fairest way to determine if charges are warranted. 2 firefighters are recovering after a strip mall fire turned into a massive blaze. Witnesses say it started at a Family Dollar store in the East Garfield Park neighborhood around 7 p.m. last night. Cubs beat the Cardinals 4-1. White Sox rout the Indians 11-4. The news service of Staples. Staples still has low prices every day on the office items you use most. And right now, it's a great time to stock up and save with the Buy More, Save More event happening in Staples stores. The more you buy, the more you save on everything your office needs. Staples, make more happen. 8:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher wonders if Hillary's health is a concern.
When your health has been invoked as the reason you were forgetful while Secretary of State, this matters. Isn't her health fair game? It's not a conspiracy theory when you have to wonder about a woman who has such a coughing jag again on the campaign trail.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Remodel your kitchen with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet and get one free with free financing and design services. Call 773-783-8300.
The big Lake County Home Improvement Expo, a free home show that's open to the public, is coming to the Lake County Fairgrounds this weekend only. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen, bathroom, basement, or maybe get a new roof, flooring, windows, or siding, then this is the event for you. At this 2-day expo, you'll meet local and national contractors displaying their products and services. Get new ideas, set up estimates, and talk directly with contractors, many of which are offering huge discounts. Maybe you need a new furnace, insulation, or just a handyman. You'll find everything you need under one roof. Increase the value of your home and bring your friends and family. Special announcement! Attend this free home show and get a free gift at the door. You heard it right, that's a free gift at the door. Remember, the Lake County Home Improvement Expo this weekend only at the Lake County Fairgrounds in Grays Lake. Get more information at homeshowevent.com. That's homeshowevent.com.
8:36, check of the roads, AM 560 traffic center time. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. 8094 westbound has huge delays from I-65 to Indianapolis Boulevard with road work in the 2 left lanes, and northbound I-65 is slow from Ridge Road. I-80 eastbound really slow going from near 355 to 183rd with a crash in the center median. Westbound delays from the Tri-State to 183rd. Eden's 32 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction, outbound 40. The Kennedy, an hour and 26 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, outbound 48 minutes. The Eisenhower's an hour and a half. Thorndale to the post office, outbound an hour and 5 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 30 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 51 minutes. The Ryan, 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, traffic is slow first from Dixie Highway to around I-80. There's a jammed ramp there. Then from 111th to 31st and Roosevelt to Grand Avenue. Veterans Memorial really heavy this morning with delays Boughton most of the way up to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. A humid day shaping up, more clouds than sun in the afternoon with a chance of a thunderstorm will top out at 81. 68 at O'Hare. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio.
online at iHeartRadio.com.
See Alan West and Michelle Malkin at Freedom Summit Chicago 2016. Tickets are on sale now at freedomsummitchicago.com.
Yeah, and Freedom Summit Chicago, as you just heard, is coming back to Chicago on Saturday, October 29th, less than 2 months away, and it's happening at the beautiful Chicago Westin, Northwest, and Itasca.
Keynote dinner speaker, Lieutenant Colonel Alan West. Keynote lunch speaker, Michelle Malkin. And 560's Mike Gallagher also be there, as will we. And just added, our keynote breakfast speaker.
Yes, Dr. Sebastian Gorka, author of the New York Times bestselling book, Defeating Jihad. And there's just 15, yes, that's right, 15 premium gold seats remaining and plenty of premium silver and economy tickets. They start at just $39, so go to freedomsummitchicago.com to buy yours. That's freedomsummitchicago.com. What is it, Dan?
freedomsummitchicago.com.
Yeah, and join us October 29th.
And so all you deplorables, got space at Freedom Summit. And Donald Trump and the campaign have put together an ad right quick off of what Hillary Clinton said this past weekend, playing in the battleground states. And here is that ad.
Speaking to wealthy donors, Hillary Clinton called tens of millions of Americans deplorable.
You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. The racist, sexist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic, you name it.
People like you, and you. Deplorable. You know what's deplorable? Hillary Clinton viciously demonizing hardworking people like you.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Yeah, so Hillary is prosecuting her solidarity and marginality case that the left has been relegated to do. This is the Obama coalition.
But she was so classless, and is this if she didn't even realize she was being recorded. I mean, it was just sick what she said, but that's what's truly in her heart.
And Donald Trump has picked up on this and is not going to let this die over the weekend. It's not just commercials. He gave an address to the National Guard Association yesterday and kind of got back, I think, into his sweet spot in terms of the ruling class argument. He's the outsider standing against the ruling class. That is the right political positioning for him to own. And he got right after it. Not just Hillary Clinton, but I mean, it's subtle, but this is really powerful. The response that she got.
She and her wealthy donors all had a good laugh. You heard them. They were all laughing. Good, solid laugh.
Yeah.
And that's what was so disturbing for me. I don't know for you, but I was so shocked that she said it that I couldn't believe it was happening. And then to hear people respond in that manner it's embarrassing.
Well, and here's the message. It's not just the name calling. They're laughing at you. You know what? They think you're a joke. That's what they think. They think, and the they, just to be clear, who's the they? The they are the elitist central planners, whether they're in government or outside of government, but share the attitude that they are, number one, the example to be emulated. Number two, they have every right, and their cohorts do, to exercise dominion over your life because they are better positioned to tell you how to live your life than you are. They think you are a joke. You're ill-mannered and ignorant and unsophisticated. You're a joke. And don't forget that when you go to the polls on November 8th or before, what they think of you, and decide if you want the they that's been in charge to still be in charge. And that's the message that Trump is sending. And I think that's precisely spot on.
Hillary Clinton spoke with hatred and derision for the people who make this country run. She spoke with contempt for the people who thanklessly follow the rules, pay their taxes, and scratch out a living for their family, a hard-earned living, too. While Hillary Clinton lives a sequestered life behind gates and walls and guards, she mocks and demeans hardworking Americans who only want their own families to enjoy a fraction of the security enjoyed by our politicians.
That's a great riff. He should cut that 40-second riff right there and repeat it incessantly over the next 57 days.
Well, during his campaign event later on in North Carolina, he brought a dozen supporters on stage, Dan, to declare in one voice that they're not deplorables. The first up was an African-American couple who said, "We're not deplorable people."
My wife and I represent non-deplorable people. I and my wife have spent 85 years in public education. Combined as principal, 45 years, and also as guidance counselor. We are not racist at all. We don't even fit on that list that she put out.
I thought that was great. We don't even fit on the list. Saying sexist, xenophobic, whatever she was saying.
This is going to be a rallying cry. People who think this is going to just dissipate over the next couple days as the new utterance, the new development takes over. This is going to be. It may not be top line, but it's going to be below the fold, clarion call, rallying cry, a la Wolverines and Red Dawn for the last 2 months of this campaign. Mark my words.
Good evening, everyone. I am probably a lot of things. Deplorable is not one of them, I assure you. So we are going to make America great again. And Hillary needs to take a nap.
She needs to go take a widow nap so she sleeps like a baby. Next up, a pastor who moved his family to North Carolina.
Good evening. I'm a pastor. My wife and I left our home in Florida with from all of our children to come at the call of God and plant a church in North Carolina. And let me tell you, there's 3 questions that I believe you can ask to know who is the best choice for America. And that's Donald Trump. Number 1, what's his position concerning life? Even at its inception and conception when it's most vulnerable. What's his position on the family and the traditional family this nation was built upon? And will he stand strong with Israel?
Keep in mind, these people had no idea that they were going to be speaking. Donald Trump, literally, he just wanted, he's like, oh, they can come up. Do you want to come on up? You want to come up?
Yeah, which deplorables want to come on?
Yeah, and even a guy who came on, but you have to listen carefully because Donald Trump gave him something.
I'm up here because President Trump, Mr. Trump, not president yet, but I'm up here just because he gave me a hat.
Good.
And he turns around and he shows that. It was cute.
Funny.
I mean, it was, different cross sections of America or North Carolinians, and it was effective. And Donald Trump was behind him, and then he thanked them all, and they went on their way. And then they started chanting USA in America.
I said, Trump to the deplorables will be what Jean Valjean was to the Miserables. Speaking of which, let's go to the philosopher king of Elmwood Park. That's Sean.
Hey, Sean, do you still have your police ribbons up there in Elmwood Park?
Do I still have my what? I didn't hear.
No,
you.
the blue police ribbons around every tree.
I don't pay attention. I go to my house and then I leave. I don't drive around the neighborhood. No, I don't commingle with people. Listen, here's
Good
the
for
other
people.
thing. Here's the other thing. People are not deplorable. Actions are. You know what's deplorable is raising $143 million in the name of a charity and giving $9 million. It's deplorable. Whitewater, where she robbed and stole from seniors, that's deplorable. Deplorable is giving the State Department money so your moron short bus brother can get a gold mine license. That's deplorable. We have 40 years of deplorable actions, and the main thing that's deplorable is the philosophy of socialism, which exists on theft of your fellow man. It's deplorable. Hillary is deplorable from soup to nuts, and the double entendre is intended, Prof, not an accident. That's what fell out of the trousers. So you keep your eye on that.
Oh, thanks for the call, Sean. Just reporting on what fell out of the trousers or hand or whatever. We talked to Rick Leventhal from Fox News earlier this morning who broke the story over the weekend. And his guy at the scene says it was the arm of a pair of sunglasses.
Yes.
That was the object that fell, whether from her pocket or
but
for her
she
hand
had
or whatever.
sunglasses on, so why did she have a pair of sunglasses in her?
I'm just
in that pantsuit of hers.
I don't know what it was. I'm just reporting what somebody at the scene and who had a reliable source is suggesting. So I'm not going to overstate the case. We're just going to report what we know as we know it.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Coming up next, it's a cat story, but it doesn't really have a happy ending. Well, maybe it does. You can decide. But first, here's your forecast. Plenty of sunshine right now. It's going to be a warm, humid day. Enjoy it because it should be the last one this week. A high of 81 degrees. Possible thunderstorm in spots this afternoon. Let's get those travel times. Here's Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. The inbound Kennedy is still heavy all the way in from O'Hare. It's an hour and 26 minutes from the airport to downtown, 54 minutes from Montrose, 45 in the Express, outbound 48 downtown to the airport. Edens, 32 minutes Lake Hook to the junction, outbound 40. The Ike, an hour and 30 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, an hour and 4 minutes from Manheim, outbound an hour to Thorndale. The Stevenson is now an hour and 40 minutes from 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 50 minutes. The Rhine, 30 minutes. 95th to downtown. Tri-State southbound a little heavy approaching 137. Northbound still very slow from around 111th, 31st, and Roosevelt to Grand Avenue. Veterans Memorial slow going. Boughton to the Reagan Tollway and Finley most of the way to 290. Eastbound I-80 just a mess. Maple to 183rd after a crash. 8094 westbound slow Grand to Indianapolis Boulevard after road work. I'm Jim Talamonte, the AM 560 Traffic Center.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Policy Institute, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com.
Townstone Financial is synonymous with great rates, low closing costs, and phenomenal service to the thousands who have completed purchases and refinances with us since 2002. Hi, my name is Barry Sterner, owner of Townstone Financial. Let's hear about the Townstone experience from one of our customers.
My name is Brian Cole. I'm a realtor locally here in Chicago with Catline Properties. I have worked with Barry Sterner for a number of years with Townstone Financial, and most recently on a deal that I did where my buyers were actually sellers. Townstone Financial, specifically Zach Schwartz and Barry Sterner, made it a point to have them pre-qualified for a mortgage. They ended up closing on the same day, and Townstone Financial made the whole process completely seamless.
Remember, nobody values your business more than Townstone Financial, and I'm always available to answer your questions. Call me now, Barry Sterner, at 312-896-2111. That's 312-896-2111. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financials, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida, Illinois, mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639, equal housing lender.
This is Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob.
His company put their trust in Air Comfort to keep their business running cool all summer. Bob knows the value of proper chiller maintenance that includes end-of-season service, so he'll be ready for next summer.
I'm ready.
Dave, on the other hand, thought he could put off servicing his chiller at the end of last season and had 3 complete shutdowns this summer. Needless to say, his staff and customers were not happy. Moral of the story? Preventative maintenance will save you time, money, and trouble. As the hot weather ends, you need maintenance on your chiller before the start of next season. Air Comfort has one of the largest commercial and industrial service groups in the Chicago area, with a dedicated factory-trained chiller department that takes a scientific approach to analyzing your system and determining any needed maintenance. They know how to work on large equipment, perform an analysis of your chiller, and get you ready for next season. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
AM 560, The Answer.
Amy Jacobson's Cat Stories.
Boy, this is This cat story is going to give us nightmares. Holy cow.
Well, I'm surprised. I mean, I said I had a cat story, but there is a caveat that it is a little violent. So if the kitties are listening, as in children, you might not want to have them hear this.
Or the actual kitties.
Well, we have a woman.
Scare them straight, too.
A Chicago woman was visiting her daughter in Elmhurst, and the cat Zeppelin, yes, his name is Zeppelin, so was acting up. So the mom, Kelly, decided to have her daughter hold down the cat while they stabbed it. That's actually so sad.
What is wrong with these people? Why did they stab the cat to death?
She said the cat was acting up, so she you know what? I want to get rid of this thing. So she got her daughter to hold down the cat while she stabbed it. Well, luckily
like
her
lunatics.
her 14-year-old son saw what was going on, grabbed Zeppelin away from his mother and called 911. But the mother took the cat back and held it down while Samantha stabbed it again, actually killing it, according to prosecutors. So she has been sentenced to 90 days in jail, 3 months in jail. She's also banned for life from owning or living with someone who owns a companion animal in order to pay $5,000 plus court costs. Now
and the daughter's also facing one felony count of aggravated criminal cruelty. Her case is pending, so she's going to probably follow mom to prison. What is wrong with these? What kind of cat have done? It's so violent and
I know it's weird.
And like
so,
American Psycho-ish.
The DuPage County State's Attorney Robert Berlin said in a statement that while Ms. Palermo took responsibility for her involvement in the death of a family pet, there is nothing that can be done to bring Zeppelin back.
Well, the Palermos are going to jail, and the former family pet Zeppelin, well, he's on the stairway to heaven.
Does anybody remember laughter?
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Hiring people is probably the worst part of my job. It's such a hassle, the searching, the sorting through resumes. Most people don't have the right experience.
We started using